Good evening, sim racing fans. Welcome once again to Sim Racing World TV. Tonight, it's round 8 of the SRW Radical series. There's been a catastrophe in the sim racing world ranks, and they've had to draft in the big guns tonight for the comms. So, Cowie Average Sim Racer here, and we've got Chef Toddy sitting beside me.
Good
looking
evening,
after
legends.
the pictures and having a chat. So it should be a gunbuster night, double header, the Radicals at Alton Park, and we're followed by the Porsches at Twin Ring Motegi. So
I'm
got
excited.
to squeeze
for
it
that
in a little
tonight.
bit. There's an iRacing update tonight, guys. So I think we've shortened the Radicals by about 5 minutes, and I think the Porsches have copped a similar shrinkage. So it's going to make things interesting, Toddy.
It is, isn't it?
I think a few of the guys think that there might not be a pit stop in the Radical race tonight.
I think so. I think everyone's going to try and push it, aren't they? You're going to see some ballsy moves tonight, I believe.
Well, Alton Park, I know we were talking to Scotty Callahan before, and he thinks it's a pretty hard place to overtake. And then he's jumped in and jumped on the track and gone, hang on, I don't think I've driven this layout before either. So maybe our series leader might have his work cut out for him tonight, buddy.
I think he might, mate. I think he might. Whoa, Timothy Schmellenberg having a bit of a moment on the outside there. Whoa.
Well, I have been out there racing these Radicals this series. Lucky for me, I did have a drop round available.
Because you've been racing it all season, right? This is awesome. You'll have a great insight.
Well, we'll have to let the viewers out there decide that, Toddy, I suppose. We don't get to decide that here. The title says TCR and F3 on the video, buddy.
What?
Can you edit for YouTube? That's what someone's saying there.
Oh,
see if we can
apologies.
fix that out there.
We'll
but
try.
Both Toddy and myself have been drafted in at the last minute. We've had a few of the comms guys unable to work tonight, and then our illustrious producer Shibby, his computer decided to his hard drive I think crashed on him this morning.
Yeah,
and it's his Windows hard drive, so he's got to reinstall everything. He was hoping to have it all done, but
and his little girl's not very well as well, so yeah, it's just the hits keep on coming for him. So he messaged me pretty early and said, could you jump in?
Cover him. Yeah.
Well, I mean, early tonight, not today, but that's all good.
The same myself, you know. I normally race in the Radicals. I'm enjoying the racing here with the boys, and but you know, there was no one to help you out with comms tonight, buddy. So I had to put up my helmet and put on the microphone. So
why not?
We'll see how it all ends up. Of course, out there in YouTube and Facebook land, guys, keep those comments coming. Thanks, Chris Tank, for the info there. We'll see what we can do to fix that. May have to stop and start the stream. Is that right, Toddy?
I'm not sure. It might be a restream thing. So I'm trying to. So I'm not sure.
Oh, he's looking into it anyway. So we'll see what we can do. But it is Radical SR8s, and I think there's a couple of 10s out there as well. Followed by our Porsche 992 Cup cars. So it's an awesome night of racing here at SRW. Of course, a big thanks to our major sponsors, DSL Welding Services. Once again, it's great to have them on board for the series. Also, Pagnian Advanced Simulations on board, and Dragon RC for their continued support. Melville Equipment, they're our fastest lap sponsor. And then we've also got Warren and Brown Technologies and Toyo Sim and the promo department safety car. We'll see if that comes out tonight, Toddy.
Absolutely nailed it, Cowie. Yep, I reckon we might see one, but it is a very short race. But and quite a bit of runoff on this track too. So who knows? Interesting.
It's all about flow, this place, and I think that's maybe what Scotty Callahan was talking about earlier, about it being a hard place to pass, because it is about flow, and you've sort of got to almost force your hand and force the car up into places to own the corner. and that makes it difficult for the cars around you. So if you then move and block that on a defensive line, it can be hard for the cars behind. So we'll have to see how he goes. At the moment, he has made a habit of not qualifying and starting from the back, but he's out there and put a time out there at the moment. But it's Michael
just on a
Cuttajar with the
128.
early time. Well, Michael Cuttajar with a 27.
Oh, that's quick, man.
8.
Earlier
and
in
Dave
practice, they
Unger
were
with
sitting
a
about at
27.63.
126. They were so. In
practice, they were doing 26s. So,
yeah.
well, it is a fixed series, so everyone starts with a bootload of fuel. Well, I think it's 40 litres that they'll be starting the race on and qualifying. So that means you've got to burn it off. Now, the fuel burn is about 1.6, I believe, a lap, according to my sources.
Nice.
And so, with a 35-minute race, I don't know if these guys are going to need to stop. So,
I don't think so.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. We'll have to keep an eye on it.
You'll definitely see some fuel saving, though, to get it to the 35.
If it's required, I'm sure we'll see it. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
But
quite a cold track as well, really. Like quite a moderate track, and temperature out in 22 and 22, so should be pretty easy on the tyres.
Well, Alton Park's sort of one of those tracks that you tend to see crop up a lot in the Mazda Cup series and the what's the other one? Well, I don't think I've seen the Skip Barber series. You see this track come up a lot, and it's got an interesting history. I think I was telling you before there a couple of quirky things about this track.
Such a great story.
So coming up over the hill, once you get through the chicane down the bottom here, you're coming up to Knickerbrook Corner.
I'll have a look.
Now, there's actually a reason it has that name.
On screen now.
There were apparently tree stumps that needed to be removed from the area, so they got in a local demolition expert. And after he lit the first explosion off, a couple was seen racing out of the bush to get the hell out of there. And so when they walked over to investigate where they'd been, they found a set of women's underwear floating in the brook, hence its name. I thought that was a pretty cool bit of trivia. The other thing you can notice as we're looking at this fixed camera here of Knickerbrook Corner, see how reinforced... Yes, mate? We're still going? Well, if you have a look to the left, you can see how reinforced the concrete is here for the Marshall stations. And apparently they did that with all of the Marshall stations here in this section of the track in 2007 because of some incidences in 2006. And note the word instances, where the previous Marshall stands have been hit by cars. So, pretty scary.
Apologies there, Cowie. Just had a bit of an audio glitch there for myself. I just had all the cars in my ears, but not you, so apologies there.
It's all good, buddy. Well, I kept going as if it was going out to the broadcast, so I'm sure they'll let me know out there if I looked like a bit of a daft fool, or sounded like one. But we're just talking about the reinforced Marshall cages there and why they've got it. You know,
yeah, that's pretty crazy, isn't it?
The fact that they mentioned the word instances,
yeah,
not one
multiple.
instance, it happened a few times. Like, that's a bit scary. So, they look pretty solid there. But alrighty, we are 9 minutes already into qualifying, and it is still Michael Cuttajar, who has just done a 126.7. So the first guy into the 126s to just solidify his spot at the top of the Christmas tree at the moment. You can see here, just watching him, he's really throwing that in. It is quite a fast section through the middle part of, like, what's that? Cascades, isn't it?
Yeah, that's Cascades, yeah.
There, coming down the Island Bend and into the Shell Oils corner.
Oh,
you were mentioning before, Toddy, you've got a nice bit of software behind that's helping you with the corner names and all that. I've got to have a look at a little map, buddy, but I've got it there. So
yeah, no, it's brilliant. We got Britain's chicane is the first chicane, and then as he's just coming up through Michael Cuttajar, and as you come down through the next chicane is Hislop chicane. And we've got a great custom cams packages, so it's looking good tonight. Nickelbrook corner, as Cowie was just talking about. And then we come down into Water Towers. And Druids. Very famous section of the track, isn't it, Druids?
Well, those still shots and you know, showing that camera shot really gives you an idea of the elevation changes here, and it's sort of one of those characteristics that this track is well known for. There's also a couple of parts where it's blind, so you're coming over the crest and you've already got to position the car in the right spot, because especially here coming up to the start, you know, if you put the car in the wrong spot, when you come over that crest, there's grass over there, and you're headed for it. So
yeah, it's
but
you can definitely tell how much banking they've got on some of these corners as well. Like especially on that hairpin, it would be almost undrivable if it didn't have that amount of camber sort of to the center of the apex.
Well, the Radical SR8 is a little downforce machine. Doesn't look like it's got huge amounts of downforce, but it's enough to make it stick to the road, and it's definitely a car that you've got to really concentrate on. Well, you know, you trust the grip, I should say. You trust that you can send it in and it's going to stick. Unfortunately, that creates that clip that we keep talking about, Toddy, where if you go over it, stick a wheel over it, it's really bad. But you know,
it can end very quickly, can't it? Especially in these cars.
It is. I mean, there's so many characteristics of the car that I like, and to me, it feels almost like a souped up V8 supercar, because you've still got to do the blip with the way you do your shifting. So I end up using my shifter, and the car feels very familiar to me as a result. But you know, we've seen before, it's really easy to loop it on cold tires.
It is very easy.
I might have done that from P3 last week, I think.
Oh yeah, and the reverse screwed up.
A bit silly. At Laguna Seca coming down in the corkscrew, but
it's easier to do though, isn't it? The corkscrew in any car, isn't it? Especially these things.
Well, as I said to you, it's all about trusting the grip, and I was having such a good start that I trusted it a little bit too much, too early. Like, give that another 2 laps and I would have had no problem with the way I was going to take that corner. But first lap, you've got to be a bit wary of these things. So we'll see if these guys can, you know, keep an eye on that. We see Scotty Callahan just doing a 127 flat there, so he's now jumped ahead of Dave Unger and he's into P2. Andrew Lydon, who's one of our F3 drivers, one of the Kittens racing machines, has jumped in the Radicals as well. Was Andrew here last week?
No, he wasn't. No, he's new to the scene.
So, but it was great to see him, and he's straight up to the top. Cam Edwards, I know Cam's had a pretty good season, and I've enjoyed battling against him, even though I did go off the radio one night at him, but I then watched the replay and apologised straight away, because it was more my fault than his. But, you know, that's the great thing, you know, we do know every now and again things will get heated on the radio, and you might say something that you don't mean to say.
What happens in real life, you know? Look at Lewis Hamilton, was it 2 weeks ago or whatever it was, and it was.
That's right. You know,
lost his coupe. It happens to everybody. So.
Well, there's a big station on some of these sim races as well, buddy. So.
Most definitely, eh?
All right. Well, we've got about just over a minute of qualifying left. Though I did see that if these guys start a lap, will be able to finish it. So there is an extra couple of minutes, although an extra minute or two added onto the time here to let people finish that lap once they get it started. So we'll see if that light fuel load helps a few of these guys and they push. You can see Cam Woodward's there showing a bit of damage on the front, but he's not realising it. And to him, it's possibly more about the fuel burn at the moment, because he's not going to set a fast lap without the car being light.
Yeah, true. Just try and push as much out of it as he can. This will be their push lap now, essentially, won't it? Everyone's been pushing, but as we see, Michael Cuttajar beats his own time already here. Goes down to a 126.
No, he did a 26.8 last lap, so he's about 10
last lap,
off
yeah, he did too. Yeah, sorry, apologies.
all good, buddy.
But
Nice.
Scotty Callahan there with his last lap was a 27.058,
Yep.
so he's almost under the 27 mark as well.
Well, he's jumped up into P2. We'll have to see if anyone else is out on a lap. Cam Edwards had a purple sector, a couple of oranges, and then a green sector. So we'll have to see if Cam can better it. No, with a 127.4. So he is unable to improve his position.
The pits.
Andrew Lydon currently with all orange sectors, so I don't expect this one to be any good. Was that a 127.5 from Andrew? So he did a 127.3 earlier, unable to prove. Nathan Burney does have one green sector in his times. Scotty Callahan about halfway around with green sector as well. But there's a fair few orange sectors out there, so I don't know if any of these guys are going to jump up and
Michael
rattle the top
Cutter
of the
just beat his
cage.
time as well. He just beat it by 0.03 of a second on that last lap too. Oh, wow, he's pushing even harder now.
Only man in the 26s, mate, so found some pace out there. Looks like Timothy has aborted his lap and come into the pits.
Let's have a look at Steve-O. Let's see if his last lap. He's all on yellows at the moment, isn't he?
And it looks like we've had, it must be Scotty Rankin. He hasn't qualified, so is that a rear grid perhaps? From last race?
Possibly. He's just sitting there. Yep. No laps at all.
We've got Stephen McCartan and Jamie Dyke, our race control tonight. There's Daniel Fritz, also another driver that maybe had a rear grid and unable to qualify. Andrew Lydon, our last car out on track, but he's got all orange sectors, so I don't think he's going to be improving his time.
Oh, now he's into the pits also.
The result.
And
Well,
Stevenson.
notice a few of the guys. We actually noticed that in the F3s last night, and I think a few of these guys are like, oh, hang on, I've forgotten to practice my pit entry. I better get one in, and they're doing it at the end of quality. So I think we saw it last night with one of the Kitten racing machines. So
Yeah, we did.
I reckon that's what we've seen there from those guys.
Yep.
So,
I think you may be right there, bro.
and thanks to Nick out there. Let's go Tim and Brad for JWM. Oh, so you're not racing either, Nick. So you're in my
Nick
boat as
Schmellenberg's
well,
not here,
buddy.
sir.
That's a bit unfortunate, mate.
Well, you're here in spirit, so that's what counts.
Yeah, thanks for tuning in, buddy. And, so hopefully you've got a drop round available like I did. And on that note, we can have a quick look at the ladder. It is Scott Callahan, our our second place sitter for tonight's race. It's sitting
not out there
on
yet.
the top of the championship. But in tonight's race, it is Michael Cutter in P1 with a 126.64. Scott Callahan 4/10 behind him. P2 with a 27 flat. Dave Unger got pipped there by Scotty towards the end of that session in P3. Andrew Lydon from Kitten Racing in P4. Cam Edwards P5 from our Send It Sim Sports car. And we've got Tim in the JWM Esports machine. Nathan Burney for Locked On Lads Racing P7. Brad Hudson, the other JWN machine in P8. Wayne Edwards, P9. Nathan Allen, P10 in the Rainbow machine. And I think is that Wayne Edwards, Tyler Sheaf. Wayne Edwards, Nathan Allen, Steven Singovich, and Tyler Sheep bringing up the back of the grid. Now, as I was saying, Toddy, there, the championship at the moment, it is Scotty Callahan, who is 95 points at clear of Dave Unger. They both have a drop round available to them. 2 rounds to go. I'd say Scotty's got this pretty much sewn up. Scotty Rankin is only 18 points behind Dave Unger for P3 as well, and he does have a drop round too. So it could be close for P2, P3. Nathan Burney 20 points back from that. So, all right, we've got the lights coming on. We are about to start round 8, and they are away. And Michael Cullajar getting a pretty good start. Scotty Callahan slotting in behind. Who's that wide, trying to go around the outside? Cam Edwards making a move at T1 there. Has he got that done? I think
he's got that done on Andrew Lydon. Beautiful move there. Beautiful move.
Oh, is that... I think Cameron just got checked himself up a little bit on the exit, had to catch the car, and you can see that Andrew's right back on the back of him now.
Oh,
He's
look
just
at that.
moving
That's brought the
inside the cover.
JWN esports car at the back as well to him.
Well, it looks like everyone's got away clean. We've still got to hold our breath though, buddy. It is lap 1 on a radical.
Cold tyres, lap 1.
Cold tyres. Look after them and don't push it too hard.
Oh, and look at that Monster Energy car. He's back again this week. It's great to see him back.
And Daniel Fritz, yeah, he's up 3 positions already off the start, so he had a great start. Scotty Rankin with 5 positions so far.
Oh, come on.
He's got himself up into 10th from starting 15th, so a lightning start. And I know Mr. Rattlegun, I've been calling him the lap 1 spin. Is it because I'm in comms, buddy, you're not going to do it for me tonight? Come on.
Yeah, he doesn't want you to...
He made a little mistake on cold tyres, much like I have myself the last couple of races. It looks like he's got it under control and has already jumped 5 spots and put himself in a good position.
Oh, someone's gone off at the back
Nathan
there.
Allen. Nathan Allen's gone around, and is that the 711 of Daniel Fritz?
Yeah.
Looks like he got on the grass as well and has looped around.
Oh,
But
let's
looks
have
like
a look
both
at
of
that
those
one.
guys have avoided heavy damage, so
Yeah.
they'll be able to keep going, but that's time lost right at the start of the race. That's got to hurt.
Oh, it might have been Daniel Fritz reacting to it, maybe, and just trying to, and maybe just locked up. We'll just have a quick look at that replay.
I think that's right, buddy. Thanks again to DSL Welding Services for the replay. So he has likely gone wide to avoid it. Oh no, he's looped it himself in almost the same way. I think he was going round regardless.
Yep, definitely.
So that, I think that might be a cold tyres message or warning unheeded. So
I think so. We even said it this week.
Recovery from these boys now to get back up in near the top 10. It looks like Scotty Rankin has made another position as well as a result. So he's up inside P9 and only inside a second for Bradley Hudson in front of him in the JWM machine.
He's having a great race so far, isn't he? Absolutely pushing. He's up at more spots than anybody else in this race so far. And he looks like he's just hunting these guys down.
I'm not out there to put the pressure on him.
Yeah, not right now.
Oh, no,
Timothy
and
off.
that's Bradley.
Oh, it's Brad Hudson, yeah.
Brad Hudson.
Hudson. Yeah, sorry, apologies.
So, looks like that might be a spot to keep an eye on, because if you go wide there, and I can see Steven Sinkovich just do a little run on the grass wide there as well, but he recovered it well.
Yeah, on that little bit of a final corner,
that might be one of the spots to watch out for, and easy to lose the rear of the car there. And, that's Daniel Fritz around again, I think.
Again, yeah.
So that damaged wing may be causing him a bit of grief. But look at that's the combination of elevation change. You're coming into a high speed area.
Yeah.
You're flicking through there quite fast, and then you've got a break. There's a little dip, and then it rises up again. Then you've got to turn in, and there's an opposite camber that wants to run you outside. So you've got to really slow the car up a bit more to make sure you get that turn. So it's actually a really easy mistake to make.
Yeah, and it's, as you were saying earlier, it's such a...
You said, isn't it?
Yeah, that was Britain's chicane.
Slot, was it?
This is Britain's chicane.
Okay.
Yeah. So there's some pretty hard tyre barriers. That they don't look too hard, but they will definitely stop you dead, won't they?
Well, in iRacing, they are the brick of Gibraltar.
Yeah.
They don't move anywhere.
Yep.
But I have seen sort of real life footage of them getting knocked flying. So, but they actually, I think they've got concrete in the bottom of them as well, so that they don't get, knocked flying up into the crowd. So.
Yeah, exactly right. You don't want flying tyres that people do. So I'll go back to here we go, Mr. Cuttajar getting hunted down by Scotty Callahan now. Scotty Callahan on the move.
So far he's got he's shown good pace, and he's got that gap outside 1.1. Now, I'd be interested to see if the tow is going to have a big effect here tonight.
Yeah.
We've seen the tow be effective on those longer tracks, but there's not really a big long straight, except for that going down the lakeside and Island Bend. But it's all about setting yourself up for Island Bend as well. So Be interesting to see if the toe comes into play and guys can make a move down into the big hairpin at Shell Old Corner.
Yeah, most definitely. We see, as
Here
we
it is
see,
here,
Cameron
so we'll keep an
Edwards
eye
just
on
doing
this
our
here.
fastest lap of the race so far.
There is a bit of a toe there. Yeah, you definitely see it.
Definitely see
Cameron
it. Dave
Edwards
Unger's
closing
under
right
pressure.
up on Dave Unger there. So
Doesn't look like there's too much aero wash underneath right at the back behind that car either. So,
yeah, look, coming from driving these things, Toddy, to be honest, you don't really notice a huge amount of aero wash in the front.
okay.
It is noticeable.
Yeah.
But it's sort of one of those things that
Take it in your stride kind of thing.
what you're trying to do is really get the jump on exit on someone. If you can't get him in braking, it's all about getting a better exit and setting them up for the next braking area. So, you know, if you start to feel the car, you know, washing out in the front, you're just going to slow it up a little bit, get it turned in and get on the gas a bit earlier. So that's what I sort of found, so that I didn't find that I was noticing it that much. Shivy, I didn't mention it before, but thank you for fixed up the titles for everything.
Thank you very much, Shivvies.
Thanks for that, buddy. And but yeah, so I never really noticed a huge aero wash in them.
Oh,
so Scotty's found a bit of space, and Daniel Fritz's that rear of that car is not looking very good.
No, I think he's had a lot of trouble with that rear wing.
Well, as we said, the issue is I think these guys may not need to pit tonight, so there's no free pit stop and use your fast repair. It's go into the pits and lose the time and use it. Oh,
Scotty Rankin.
Scotty Rankin.
Oh, maybe
little waddle there.
Yeah, rattle gun wasn't rattled on hard enough. His wheels a bit wobbly, mate.
Rattle a bit.
He's having a great drive, up 7 positions now. From his starting position, and I think he might be on the P8.
That's great. He's now got to make up a bit of time to catch up to Nathan Burney, so he's going to have to settle in. This is the middle part of the race for Scotty, and at the moment it doesn't look like the guys in front of him are making any mistakes. So he's going to have to, you know, get his head down and churn out those laps.
Gonna have to push Scotty Callahan with our fastest lap of the race last lap as well, with a 1:26.9. So yeah, he was always capable of it then, wasn't he?
Well, Michael Cutterjard has got a gap out to 1.4 seconds at the moment. So Scotty maybe just realising he's better start responding, and he's finding his groove. As he did say to me before, he hasn't driven this layout before, so it's maybe just taken a little bit longer for him to find his feet, and he's finding the majority of it in this race here.
As he always does, his racecraft is pretty second to none, to be honest, isn't it? He's always a joy to watch.
Him and Dave Unger, they should be the iRacing poster boys for the Radical SR8. We can see there Dave really going aggressive to try and keep Cam back there, and Cam up for the challenge. This is a great battle. I'm going to go on board and have a look at Cameron Edwards as he's trying to set up Dave Unger here, showing some pace. See him stepping the car out, and Dave using all the track. That was probably a 1X for Dave there, but I think he's not worried about that at the moment.
No, I think you can see by the look of that car, he's trying to rush it a little bit. It seems like he's getting a bit under pressure.
We're going to have a look and see if the toe has got a big effort here. I don't think. Yeah, see, I'm not seeing a lot of it. I think we're going to see the guys really sending it through the island bend there. You can see there, he's just trusting the grip, letting the car slide out of the corner.
Whoa, just launching that curve as well.
Just had to think about catching the rear there for a moment. But this is a great little train we've got going on here.
Down through the Histop chicane.
And this is the battle for P1, 2, 3 and 4 that you are seeing on your screen tonight, everyone. So Cam Edwards pushing hard and trying to put some pressure on Dave, see if he can force a mistake. At the moment, the old timer, the old Dave Unger, using every bit of road and a bit of grass as well. Crafty that he is, but he loves this machine, and I'm sure he could, you know, drive it on porcelain if he needed to.
I'm sure he could, and I'm sure he would love doing it too.
All right, well, we are 10 minutes into our 35-minute race. Remember, folks, this is only the first race tonight. We have a double header for you here at SRW TV. It is the Radical Machines at Alton Park. And once we are done with this race, we will be crossing over to the Porsche 992 GT3 cars at Twin Ring Motegi. So, it's going to be awesome. I think it's actually a day race, the Porsches at Motegi.
It is. And indeed
it is a day race.
Yeah.
At least that, because it's the Motegi East layout, I believe, and that's the one with that blind corner. So the guys at least have a better chance at seeing it. I know when you drive that at night, you've got no chance of seeing the corner. You just turn based on where the car is at the time.
Yeah, and hopefully you see some darker spots on the track that you know where is a braking zone.
Well, it's actually more about when you come through the first couple of corners, and it then snakes back to the left before it goes right through the chicane. As soon as you get the car straight after the left, you turn. That's it. You can't see the corner, you just turn. And that way you know you're going to make it. So it's one of those blind corners. And again, a little bit like Alton Park here tonight, where there's a couple of those blind crests where, you know, you've actually got to think about where you're going to brake in your line before you hit those crests.
Nathan Verney off
Otherwise,
track
you end up sliding wide. Yeah.
Yeah. Just like we just saw the last corner, that final corner, I think he's had a bit of an off track there, but hasn't slowed him down too much, thankfully.
Well, it may well be a factor late in the race if the top guys there stay jumbled together like they are at the moment. It's only 3 seconds separating the top 4 drivers at the moment. That means that people that have maybe looked after their incident point count might be able to just take a few liberties towards the end of the race and find some speed. So
yeah.
there's a couple of places where, especially coming out of T1, I think it's T1, the old Hall corner, you could definitely run wide on exit there and carry an extra bit of speed.
As you can see in the dirt.
Sure and off track. And we've seen guys doing it already, but you save that. It's certainly something you can get away with, and later on in the race, and it may well be an advantageous position to be in. We'll see how it goes. Michael, just saying that, Michael Calajar has now got that gap out to 2.5 seconds. So he is really finding his groove here, and is just head down and in, I wouldn't call it in cruise mode because it's doing 126s.
He's definitely in the zone on this track. You can tell he really likes this track.
Yeah, I think you put it right there, buddy, in the zone. It is a fun track to drive.
It is, actually.
I've done some Skippy races around here. I've done some Mazda races around here as well. And both of those cars are fun. I've also done the V8s around here, and it's actually quite a fun track for the V8s running this same layout that we're running here tonight for SRW. So, in a way, I would have liked to have been out there in my Radical machine as well, but I had to answer the call, buddy, and
I'm glad to. We're glad to have you tonight, mate. So awesome to have you in the comms box, and it's great because you've been through the seasons in these Radicals, and you not only know how to drive them, but you know you spend a lot of time in them. So it's quite it's great.
And
great
I'd say
to get the insight.
round to use, and well, I suppose it is getting used now, but I was P9. I think I'm P9 in the championship, so I'm not really in the hunt.
Hopefully, you can keep your top 10 in the champions still, right?
Doesn't really worry me, buddy. I've been more enjoying going out and racing with the boys, and I think I'm more disappointed that Scotty Rankin has, managed to survive so far unscathed, because, to have someone battling him out there,
he's looking pretty lonely at the moment, isn't he?
Yeah, was he thinking there's a ghost Cowie car next to him? Maybe, I don't know.
Maybe he's just preloaded himself a ghost Cowie. So he feels like he's racing with you.
It's about 7 seconds ahead there to Nathan Verney at the moment. I think Nathan is lapping a few tenths faster than Scotty. But again, it is one of those things that tenths, it's easy to chase tenths and keep pushing until you make that mistake. The problem is the mistake doesn't cost you tenths. It costs you seconds. So
Yep.
sometimes you've just got to find your groove and race to your numbers, race to your groove.
Yep, I 100% agree. Just said, you know, try not to feel like you're under too much pressure from around you when you do get back into the action as well, because he will find himself back in some action before the end of this race. Daniel Fritz just having a hard time tonight.
That car is not looking good.
Wow, that's not turning.
It might be worthwhile coming into the pit and just using that fast repair, buddy, or perhaps there wasn't a fast repair available for tonight's race. I don't know. If you know out there in YouTube or Facebook land, please let us know. Nick, was there a fast repair? Is there a reason that Daniel would be driving around a broken machine? Or is it because he's already gone a lap down, I think, so it's going to make it much worse for him.
He's not having a nice time out there, is he?
Okay, Nick's just saying he thinks it's good for Tim's championship if he can stay ahead of Nathan and Scotty. That is definitely possible, buddy. I was looking at those numbers before, and Tim's actually 33 points behind Nathan, and Scott's a further 21 ahead of that. So, yeah, 50 points adrift, man. He probably needs Nathan to have a bigger moment, but he's doing all he can do.
Oh, Cameron Edwards!
Putting his car in front of him. Is that Cam Edwards has gone wide there?
Just come off track. That's very uncharacteristic of him. So he was really on the hunt, and he was putting some serious pressure on Dave Unger. So maybe he's just pushed a touch too hard. Oof.
Yeah, I think so. It looks like as that Daniel has finally gone into the pits to fix his car, I think.
Yeah, it does look like
no,
it.
and is that Stephen Sinkovich? Something happened to Stephen.
Is it?
Nathan Burney as well.
Oh, Nathan Burney as well. Let's have a look at that moment. So wonder if they're related or not.
Stephen avoided too. I think that's just a spin from Stephen.
Yeah.
I think that car looks particularly
Wonder what's happening to Nathan. Nathan, I think, it's just the final corner again, but look at that. Just gotten a bit sideways. But we'll have a look, see if it was...
It's a tricky corner. And
it is.
Well, just, as I said, the nature of it. And, I mean, you'd be trying to get the car to stick and launch down there.
Oh, no, it's chicane.
At Britain's.
Yeah.
So just the rear is just rotated around on him. Maybe just a tiny little bit too much speed when he was trying to change direction there.
Oh, and then that's got to look how close Scotty Rankin is to the back of him. Let's go on board of this battle.
So Scotty closing in on Nathan Burney now, so that might be a nice little snip for Scotty and get him those competitive juices flowing.
Mate, he is close. He's in sniffing distance, isn't he?
Well, also take a look up front as well, Toddy, because Scotty Callahan is now inside a second from Michael Carter, and Dave Unger is a second and a half back. So this gap has stayed pretty solid for most of this race, and Cam Edwards was up there battling that, joining this battle, and all that work. He's got to try and do it again now.
And that said, Scotty Callahan looks like he's got a bit of damage on the front of that car now, and a bit of damage on the side of it, like he's clipped something. Yeah. Nothing's come up on. I'll go back and see if we've missed anything.
All right, buddy. Well, we can have a look at the Wash Me machine that maybe needs a little bit of panel work instead of just a wash now, buddy.
Yeah, fix me, it should say now.
Fix me, yeah. Might be a bit hard to change that on the fly, though, buddy.
Yeah, it might be. Yeah, especially with damage in the car as well. Oh, we know he's like a radical's god, but he's not that good. Well, it doesn't seem to have come up with anything to be honest.
Tonight he was unfamiliar with this layout, buddy, so he's actually qualified. We know the last few rounds he started from the back, but he hasn't done this layout before, he was saying, so he's actually qualified to maybe put in a bit more practice, I think, more than to try and get a time near the front top. And then those competitive juices flowed in quali and he put it on the front row. So
yeah, he's like, I'm not going to start from the back again, not on this track. I think he might have thought as well, it might be a bit too hard to pass around here maybe too.
As Michael took out last week as well, so he's actually had a few really good rounds the last couple of rounds, Michael.
Very consistent.
It was Michael, Scotty, and Dave. So as it currently sits, was the finishing position for last week's round at Laguna Seca. So, but I do know that Scotty started from the back there. So, was that Daniel Fritz just getting out of the way? I think it was.
Yeah, it was
But
Daniel
that
Fritz
car
just
looks
getting
a
out of the
lot
way.
better now, Daniel. I think you might find that a lot easier to drive, buddy, than its previous condition.
Yep, surely.
Oh no, something's happened to Tyler Sheep as well. So Tyler, one of our sprint car drivers that we've dragged over to join us in the radicals, he's more of a dirt racer, and we've dragged him over to have some fun and some road racing. What's happened to him?
It's that same corner that's just getting everybody.
He's coming down into the chicane.
Oh,
that's a snap oversteer there that just caught and fixed.
Wow. Bit too hard on the brake pedal there. Bit too. Oh, and Brad Hudson's had a moment too.
Oh no.
He's crashed twice in one of
our race controller Jamie Dyke would refer to that as a big tank slapper. What's happened to Bradley here is just okay. We've seen that before,
again when he's...
and it seems you've got to take a bit of care coming down there. And just be wary about how you get on the gas, because it seems to be fairly easy to loop it. Especially because as you're going downhill, all the weight will be in the front of the car as well. You're trying to transfer that to the back.
Well, all that's been happening. Dave Ungar's passed Scotty Callahan. I'm not sure what's happened there. Nothing's coming up. Anything's happened, but yes.
Scotty Callahan.
We'll have a replay of the overtake at least.
We have a look at the pass. Here we go. Okay.
Scotty's
he's down on horsepower.
Yeah.
So I think he's realising. Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised. That if we go on board Scotty Callahan, I wonder if that's steering straight.
We'll go live on board with Scotty Callahan. Let's have a look.
Maybe see if we can get the cockpit view and see how the... Well, no, it looks fairly straight. Can't see him holding a lot of opposite locks, so...
Let's have a look at his hands when he's going straight. Is he just trying to save a bit of gas here, knowing it's 35 minutes?
It is possible. I mean, I think he's probably in the same boat that there's no pit stop tonight, so unless the car is really horrible, you're going to try and push and just keep driving it.
Yeah, that wheel looks pretty centered to me.
Look at how careful he was around that corner.
Yeah.
That just shows me of how difficult it is in these cars and why we've seen a few incidents there.
Yes. So, as you were saying, it's a very flowy track. Like, you have to be very smooth around here to get it right, or stay on track even, you know.
This section here is extremely fast. Trusting the car completely through there, and it just sticks. The same thing here as you come up to Island Bend. So he's not even lifting.
He's not even lifting. I always lift at that first driveway.
That's what I'm telling you, buddy.
Oh,
once you get the tyres up to temperature in these things, you just send it. And we're talking about a broken car as well, remember?
That's craziness. That just shows you the caliber of these guys. And the guys that really love driving them are stupid.
I know watching back. Well, I know watching back at a few of the broadcasts and that to see how I looked on camera in my machine. You know, and I know you guys have sort of talked about guys driving around with damage and feel it, or you know, he's got a broken rear wing. When you're driving these cars, sometimes you don't even notice it. Yeah, unless it really is bad, is steering damage, because you get into the zone and you can't really see your wing in the mirrors. So if it's in the rear of the car, unless the rear is stepping out all the time, you don't really feel it. Because what you do feel is you go, oh, okay, the rear's a bit loose, and so you just be a bit more cautious.
Yeah. A lot of the time, do you feel like it's more like tyres sometimes, with a bit of damage on the rear or at the front, or is it no?
Oh no, I think definitely it's the aero would be affected. It would be affecting the car for sure, and we can see here. I think it's also got a loss of horsepower for Scotty. You can see here he's just getting out of Cam Edwards' way because he can't compete with that top line speed.
Yeah, and there's SR8s and the SR10s. I kind of only ever really ever full bin it. I don't ever just scrape it a little bit and keep on driving.
Well,
Kind of
there'd
pretty
be
hard.
aero damage, but you know he would also be down a few horsepower. And
Oh,
you could
Scotty
sit there and
Callahan
just
off.
didn't want to burn.
Oh,
Oh no!
big massive moment. Into Britain's chicane there. He's just under
He might have
braking.
to pit now, I think, because that car's looking a little bit more bent, buddy. We go on board. Has he still got straight steering?
Okay, we shall go on board. Give me 2 seconds. No, he definitely doesn't have straight steering anymore. Oh,
Still fairly straight.
it's definitely wiggling a lot more. It's
Oh
than it was.
yeah. There's something that's not really good there. That's going to be diabolical coming down here into the last corner. What's that? Lodge corner.
Oh, Scotty will be gutted with himself. I'm sure he'll. We've seen him push back
See
from
if
this.
he decides to pit. I think he's going to decide to pit. Yeah. I don't think he had
just go
any
and get
choice
that.
now.
That fast repair.
That fast repair and get back out there. We'll have to see if it puts our championship leader a lap down. And at the moment, well, you were talking about this battle a little bit before. Looks like Scotty Rattlegun Rankin has halved the distance. It was 2 seconds. It is now 1 second separating himself and Nathan Verney, the locked-on lads machine. And Nathan using all of the road there and maybe a little bit of grass to maximise that exit. And the rattle gun, well, looks like he's got someone in his rattle gun sights.
I love it. That's awesome. Love it. Scotty Rankin, you gotta love a bit of Scotty Rankin. He's a
I did
quality,
say I was going to
absolute
give him a
legend.
bit of curry tonight, buddy. But so far he hasn't done one spin on camera for me. The commentators.
Yeah, I thought you would have been a bit more brutal on him already, Cowie.
Well, I haven't tried to, hex him with the commentator's curse. But now that I've mentioned it 3 or 4 times in the last couple of sentences, we better just stay on board. Ooh,
Yeah.
that was a bit close to the grass there, Scotty. No, I don't mean you ill will, buddy. You know that. I'd love to be out there racing against you and trying to make my radical as wide as possible. But Scotty's got some good pace in these machines. And I think it's easier to keep him behind me than catch him. Oh, Andrew Lydon here. Having a good run in P4 at the moment. So that was a Kittens racing in the F3s. And I think he's probably decided to jump in this at the last minute because I don't think that's a custom livery. But it's great to have you here, Andrew, and I hope you're enjoying driving the SR8. He's a wicked machine. Hopefully almost as much fun as your F3 monster that you drove last night.
Hopefully that means that he's just getting warmed up to enter for next season as well, right?
Well, that's it, mate. As you well point out, Season 4 registrations for all of our racing is open out there, everyone.
Come out and drive.
Oh,
I think
you
I'm
want to
going to
get...
be.
Sorry, go.
I think I'm going to be
mate.
in the Porsches next season.
Okay.
So
well, that's it. I mean, mate, it's one of the great things about our comms and admin team is that all the guys get out there and race.
Oh yeah,
So
and they
it's
help
not
each
just about
other,
running the
and
lead.
I've asked people
Yeah, well-
for like tips and or heaps of stuff, and nobody ever goes, "Oh no, I won't give you my secrets." Everyone goes, "No, do this, do that, make it real easy for me," So it's a great community.
Well, I might have been giving Scotty a bit of jip last night when he was asking for a supercar set up, so I tried to make him earn it. So, but with the Bathurst 1000 in for iRacing on this weekend, so it's going to be a big weekend of racing, and then it's our V8 Supercars at Twin Ring Motegi. It's the enduro round there too, so it's a big Saturday Sunday in the iRacing world.
It's going to be massive, isn't it? A lot of kilometres are going to be done this weekend.
All right, so Scotty Callahan has come out in P8 after his pit stop. Just
Behind Rattlegun.
on how far back from Scotty Rattlegun he is. Scotty is continuing this hunt down for Nathan Verney. It's about 14, 15 seconds, so that's going to be hard. We are 30 minutes gone of this race, and 5 minutes remaining. We're probably going to get maybe another 3 laps, Scotty. So at the moment, it is Michael Cuttajar running out in 1.3 seconds ahead of Dave Unger, who is now just starting to make a little charge. So maybe Dave saved some tyres for the end of the race, to keep an eye on that. He does have Cameron Edwards right on his tail as well.
Oh, Cam Edwards has made that pass happen.
There's a bit
well.
going on, so we've got a couple of battles on track at the moment. We're having to keep flashing between the two, buddy. Going to keep your work cut out for you.
Yep, definitely, 100%.
And thanks, DJF out there. Get Adrian in for some comments next time. I think we might have to try and do that, buddy, with
Yeah,
the
sounds
F3s.
awesome.
And all right, a Kittens takeover.
Nathan Verney pushing it hard.
Oh. Well, he's having a great run for his first run in the Radicals tonight. Andrew running in P4. It's probably going to be where he finishes at the moment, because the guys up front, the battle for the podium positions is between 3 cars, and only 2 seconds separates them. But it's the battle here between Nathan Verney and Scotty Rattlegun Rankin, who is closing every lap. And Nathan's just driving consistent. He knows how to drive these things.
Yeah, he does. He loves driving.
He knows how to make tyres last. And we were, talking to Scott Callahan earlier, and he said it can actually be a difficult place to pass or park. So we'll see if the Rattlegun's got any ammunition left in his chambers.
And I'm sure Nathan Verney will be pushing for his 5th place that he normally always seems to get every week. He always seems to get himself back into 5th place and sometimes do a bit better than that. So I'm behind both the drivers, to be honest. Good battle.
That's it, buddy. No, thanks, Daniel, for clarifying that. I did think so, buddy, but like everything, it's you get assaulted by names when they're in front of you or you're on track and amongst each other. You recognise it. We've all got. That's why I keep my nickname and handle nice and easy, Cowie. Work it out. So,
yeah.
But nah, mate. He's having a good run, Drew. P4. David Unger has got that gap down to 1.2, and this will be the last lap of the race, will it? We might get one more lap. We are on lap 23, and yeah, we're going to get one more lap, so we'll have to see if Dave Unger, it's 1.1 the gap. Has he got enough time left? This is it, do or die, Toddy.
It is. Woohoo, interesting. I'm not sure if he's going to be able to bridge this gap. Hey, he's been trying to bridge this gap for multiple laps here, and he's had the pace, but I don't know.
All right, well, this is the last lap. Did we see Barney the flagman waving there? His heart's content.
Let's go back.
Nah, let's stay on the lead action there, buddy. The gap is now inside a second, so Dave is throwing everything at it.
Oh,
pushing hard. Cam Edwards, he's getting on it too, so... These guys are driving as if this is lap number 1, not lap number 24 and the last lap of our motor race.
Scotty Rankin's had a crash, but look at this.
Oh no!
Oh, my timing. Oh
Scotty's
no!
pushed too hard.
Scotty.
Oh, we'll have to have a look at that afterwards,
Yeah,
buddy.
I
We're going
think
to keep
so.
our eyes here as they come through the Britain chicane, heading down to Hislops and Knickerbrook turn. What a cool name of a corner!
That's so good.
I love it.
So
But
good. And
it
the
is looking
story's
like
even better.
Michael Cuttajar has just managed the gap perfectly. It's stabilised at 1.1 for this lap, and it looks like he is going to have done enough come up to the last section of the track.
Ooh.
Coming down for our last turn.
Oh, apologies.
Oh,
STK's
no,
doing funny things
there
right
we
at the end of
have
our
it.
race. Sorry.
And it is Michael Cuttajar who's going to come across the line, and our race 8 winner, round 8 winner, David Unger in P2, and that's Cameron Edwards from Senate Sim Sports in P3. Well, mate, that went pretty quick. And
did.
it looked like a handful at times in these cars around out there, as we just see guys come across the line. A nice battle there between Timothy and Nathan Verney there at the end. So,
do we want to go back and see the moment from Scotty Rankin there right at the end?
yeah, he's got a bent up car there, buddy. You're supposed to do it when you're on camera, Scotty, not when you're off camera. But still a pretty good drive from starting at the back of the grid to finish P7. Scotty Callahan, unfortunately, banging up his car, and to the point that it was just undrivable and he had to pit. So the predictions were right, buddy. They didn't need to pit, and it was all about keeping the car out of the walls and keeping it on the asphalt.
It was. Hey, should we right, chuck up while we wait for the results, I'll chuck up this this little moment from Scotty Rankin on the last lap, it seems. And then it gives the results. Thank you.
Well, he's already damaged car then.
Oh.
But no, he's just clipped the wall. That would have hurt even more. Clipped the tyre barrier there. So just trying to turn really tight. And yeah, look at that car crabbing. Oh no.
Oh, ouch.
But thankful it was on the last lap.
Exactly right, mate. Exactly right.
And it looks like he's been able to retain P7, because that was Scott Callahan breathing down his neck there at the end.
Yeah. And here's your results.
Well, there we have our results for race 1 tonight. Our only race tonight, or race 1 of our double header, I should say. And it is Michael Cottager, our winner, finishing, what was that? About a second and a half ahead of Dave Unger in P2 and Cameron Edwards from Send It Sin Sports, our P3 finisher. All right, we're just going to wait on the guys coming down into the broadcast room. P4 was Andrew Lydon from Kittens Racing, his first race in the Radical tonight. You almost got the podium, Drew, but well done, and great to see the other Kittens boys out there on giving him some support. Timothy Schmalenberg running P5, and Nick, unfortunate we saw there, buddy, you couldn't make it tonight yourself. Tim's done all he can to try and improve his position in the championship. We'll have to see how tight that gets coming into our final round. It's Nathan Burney finishing P6. Scotty Rattlegun Rankin in P7 for Team SRW, and Scott Callahan P8. We're not used to seeing Scotty off the podium.
Yeah, very strange, eh?
Just some. He wasn't familiar with the layout tonight. I wonder if something caught him out. Wayne Edwards finishing in P9. It was Brad Hudson rounding out the top 10. Nathan Allen with that moment early on in the race. Tyler Sheep finishing 12th position, and it was Daniel Fritz and Steven Sinkovich, our final 2 finishers, but everyone finished. So,
loving it.
A good result in the end. Alrighty, so looks like we've got our P3 and P2 position finishes in the green room. So I'm going to grab Cam Edwards and drag him down. Cam, welcome to the broadcast, buddy. P3, some pretty good battles going out on the track there, buddy. You must have had some fun. How was Alton Park?
Mate, yeah, Alton Park is one of those circuits where you've really got to know certain sections of the track to get the biggest advantage. I couldn't line up turn 1, but I could line up the chicanes through the back part of the circuit and gain some time there. And yeah, pushed it a little bit hard at one point, lost my braking reference, and went for a bit of lawn mowing, but got back on track and yeah, put a fight to Dave towards the end there. So yeah, excellent fun. It was yeah, really good circuit.
Now we saw a few of the perhaps the moments there at the last turns and come down the hill. Was it just had to wait forever to get on the gas there?
Yeah, a little bit. So earlier on, when the tyres aren't up to temp, it's very easy for the front end to understeer. And there's certain lines where if you nail it, you've got 110% grip. And if you're about 2 meters off, you've got about 75% grip, and it's enough to, yeah, drift wide. And before one of the hairpins, it's very easy to, just that little bit offline and you're sailing off into the wall. So yeah, pretty high tense stuff. But as I say, great. It's just such a great league being able to race with these guys and know you can go almost wheel to wheel and sit on the back of them for 5-6 laps and not get worried that you're going to get taken out or brake checked. So yeah,
it's like Cowie average sim racer guy that took you out at Canadian.
Nah, mate, nah. That was yeah, that was fun.
Well, that was me getting on the radio as a hothead and then realising that I made the mistake, not you. So it was all good, buddy.
Mate, we're all passionate.
I was looking forward to tonight's race, and I got out there to practice, and then found out I got drafted. So it's all good. It's you're a fan of Alton Park? Do you like the place yourself?
I do, especially in the Formula 3. You really get to find out the guys that know their racecraft, and the ones that don't know their racecraft pretty much. It is a technical track, and when they've got those chicanes in there, as I say, it can make or break, half a second in a lap. So it's high intensive, and it just keeps you switched on throughout the entire race. So yeah, absolutely love it.
Well, I know I had some fun around here in the V8 Supercar, so that it gets my ticket of approval. And it's one of those tracks that seems to crop up a fair bit in the Mazda Cup series and the Skip Barbers as well. So those series are using it. I think that speaks good of the track.
Yeah, absolutely. It's as I say, it's good racing, and when you get 4 or 5 drivers who are pretty similar on pace, it's a ball of fun. So yeah, really enjoyed tonight. It was awesome.
We had some good battles out there. I know Scotty Callahan was in the mix. We didn't actually see what happened to his car there, but you were chasing down Dave Unger hard there at the end as well, and so. I know talking to Scotty before the race, and he thought that it's difficult to pass here. Did you feel the same? Was it easier to drive in a defensive manner and hold the guy behind you?
Look, to an extent, it's one of those things. My tactic tonight was just try and stick to the guys up front because I know I'm not as quick as them, and just try and see what happens in the last 10 minutes. So. Look, if there is a bit of an advantage, there are a couple of spots where you can, go down the inside, and really, you've got to really commit to the move to do it, but also to have trust in the other driver next to you to make sure they actually see you and, again, provide a bit of room and that sort of thing. So, look, I mean, there are other tracks out there that are easier to line up and overtake and, make a move cleanly. Alton's a little bit tight, but it's very rewarding when you do get it lined up. I'm not sure what happened to Scott tonight. It was I thought initially he had a slowdown, so that's why Dave went past. But whether he had damage clipping the tyre chicanes or something else, I'm not sure. But otherwise,
were you pushing the limit yourself there, going through the chicanes?
Oh, oath. Yeah, absolutely. there were a couple of times in practice I became very familiar with where the edge of them are, and I just tried to give myself a bit more of a gap during the race. But I just had a look at a couple of laps there, and I was pretty much skimming the edge of it, so I wasn't really going through the form. So just another challenge, and again, it just makes the racing more interesting. So
I'm glad you had a belter of a night and enjoyed yourself thoroughly. Cameron Edwards, the racer of the 171 Senate Sim Sports machine. Take it away, buddy, and let us know who's giving you all that support out there.
Sure thing. So, definitely a big shout out to all the lads at Senate Sim Sports. We have Precision Performance Shop, ProServe Finance, Sydney Computers, AJ Insurance Services, Transform Media, Pixel Blocks, and I want to give a shout out to my dad as well because he's joined the series this time round, and he's got his warning danger tag on the back of his car for everyone to see. But he's improving each week. He's loving the racing, and echoes similar comments to what I've just said tonight. Is that we can race really close to the guys and girls around us, and to know you're not going to get taken out deliberately, it's just fantastic. It makes the night so much better. So yeah, definitely awesome to have him in there, and yeah, good to have a few little chats with him after the race and that sort of thing too. So yeah, it's really nice.
Awesome, Cam. Well, congratulations on your P3, buddy, the Sended Sim Sports machine. All right, let's get our P2 finisher in. Dave Unger, the senior man of the Radical SR8, buddy. How'd you find Alton Park tonight?
I like that, senior man. Never a true
Only because you
word
walk
been
around with a
spoken.
walking stick, mate.
No, mate, I don't. I have a walking frame, if you don't mind.
The oxygen tank must help.
See,
Actually-
crashed the broadcast booth here, Stephen.
Oh,
But it's great to have you with us for the Porsche call coming up. But Dave, man, that looked pretty intense there for a while. One mistake and you were gone.
no, it wasn't pretty intense for a while. It was pretty intense for the whole damn race. In fact,
We had Cam breathing down your neck there at the end, and Scotty Callahan was right on your tail there for a while too, buddy. But you just couldn't get near. Well, you had him in front. You couldn't get near Michael. He just had a bit of pace tonight.
yes, he did. Well, he's got pace every night. So, what happened to Scotty?
We missed it on the broadcast. We come back in his car.
I can put
He
up
hit
the
a wall.
replay once again. I had it up earlier, but I'll.
Scotty hit the wall at one
Yeah.
point. So I'm not sure how much damage he had, but he finished with damage in the end. So yeah, not
Okay.
the
I
Bradley
thought it
of
might
tomorrow,
have been
one of the other
it might have
ones.
been the tyres at Britain's chicane because we saw
Yeah.
Scotty Rattlegun Rankin come a cropper there on the last lap, so we thought that definitely might have been a possibility. But Dave,
Yep.
are you a fan of Alton Park? Do you like this track?
Yes, very much so. Without the chicanes.
I'm going to spice it up here at SRW. We can't make it easy for you.
Yes, you can actually.
We choose not to. Dave.
So,
Yeah, to condense the field a bit.
so did that definitely spice things up the chicanes tonight, hey?
Oh, usually if we run this track with chicanes in the official series, they have the second one, not the first one. And
Right.
so we've got to learn the first one sort of thing. And, when you've got that left, right, left coming through that chicane, the first chicane, it is extremely hard on my poor old fragile wrist.
So you cranked the direct drive up, have you, for the
Oh, yeah.
feel every bump and going through there. Wow, I think it's a great section of corner there. But yeah, we did see. Was it just the bump? And yeah, I suppose I'm a supercar driver, so I would just eat those curves for breakfast. You can't quite do that in the Radical.
No, not quite. But a lot of
Especially
fun.
Probably-
driving the SR10.
Well, that's what I was going to say to you,
yeah,
Stephen. It looked a bit
what's going on
difficult
there?
out there tonight, buddy.
The SR10 was a nightmare, man. It was just, it was all over the place. The front end just didn't like the chicanes at all. Yeah, but it was good fun, man. I love it. I reckon even though it was a hard race to drive, but being on the track with these dudes is unbelievable. When you got Unger and Scotty out there, and we're missing a few other fast drivers at the moment, but Jesus Christ.
Carry your average sim racer. Where was he tonight? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. He would have been a good night for him, I reckon.
Yeah, I like
Yeah.
that track too. So, but I took one for the team. I had a drop round. Dave,
Yeah,
so
well, I'm dropping the Porsche.
dropping the Porsche.
Yeah.
No, so Dave P2 in the championship. You got some points back on Scotty, but he's a bit too far ahead. You think?
Who too? Is that right?
Yes, mate.
I didn't expect to be there.
Okay. Well, you've got 95 points you had to make up, mate. There's only 2 rounds. I know you've both got a drop round available to you. I get the feeling tonight might be Scotty's drop round. So maybe you need to, put some money out there for the boys to take him out for next round. No, we wouldn't do that.
Dave, what do you think of Bathurst in this car?
Oh, that is our final round at Bathurst.
It is.
Yeah.
I just actually looked that up before while I was sitting in the green room pondering what's going on. hate it. I really did. And I mean, it's un-Australian to say that you hate Bathurst, but
I know that's almost blasphemy, buddy.
I kept at it. You know what I mean? I just kept practicing till I was like backy.
Okay. So what you're telling us is you're probably going to be on the pace next week again, you think?
You don't count on it. Well, I'll either be on the pace or in the wall.
Well, there's a lot of walls on top of the mountain.
Yeah, there's a lot of walls around the whole mountain.
Yeah, I've got a few with my name on it, that's for sure.
Yeah, well,
Dave, I know it's you love driving these machines. It's great to have you here in SRW in our league and that. We know you're running as a privateer, buddy. Got anyone you want to give a shout?
DSL Welding. Top fellas.
Mate, unfortunately, it looks like we don't have Michael on comms for tonight, so we're not going to be able to have a chat to our race winner, unfortunately. But we do have a small interlude coming up for you all there while we get ready for our race number 2 tonight, the Porsche 992 GT3 cars at Twin Rings Motegi. Again, thanks to all of our sponsors out there, DSL Welding Services, Pagnian Advanced Simulations, Dragon RC, Melville Equipment Core, Warren & Brown Technologies, Toyo Sim, and of course the promo department. Great to have them all on board. So we'll have a short break and we will be back with race 2 tonight, where we get to see some Porsches tear up Twin Ring Motegi.
Thank you, Steve. It's not a walking frame, it's actually a mobility scooter, but I've souped it up.
I reckon it's got nitro on it, mate.
Oh, yeah, don't you worry about that. I've got a little sign, wherever you go, don't push the...
Yeah, comms out now. No, I kind of wanted that because it was kind of funny. It's kind of funny. It's kind of good. It builds a bit of character for us, I think. Thing I've heard anybody ever say. I don't like cars with doors. Oh, that would be awesome. It's always carnage, man. You'd love it. You'd have so much fun.
see at your end, Cowie, at the moment? Or am I just lucky that I've got my iRacing on?
Well, at the moment, yeah, my iRacing is flickering at the moment, so I don't know if it's I don't know if it's
It looks
Oh,
like we've got
okay.
19 cars out there tonight.
Oh, that's a nice healthy field, buddy.
Yeah, actually. We've got Dikey on the list, so it's probably 18 cars. But it's looking good. It's looking really good.
Well, this is the penultimate round for these cars, so there's not much left. Our move
No.
isn't shaken as far as the season goes. It's Adam Hughes for Crisscross Racing. Well, it's Crisscross Racing 1, 2, 3, with Adam Hughes 13 points clear of Stephen McCartan in P2, and Greg Barber a further 7 points back in P3. So the teammates are at it, buddy, this season.
Yeah, that's why Stefan didn't want to miss tonight. Adam was offering me $50 to get him in, to keep him in RC tonight. Maybe he was not handling the pressure too much.
Oh, it's possible.
But I think it's going to be a good one. These guys are really close. It's it's 1/10 between the top five. They've got a tenth between them. So pace wise, it's going to be nuts.
Well, I'm going to have to rely on your expertise as far as these cars go, Steve, because I've missed a fair bit of the Porsche Cups this season. What's the pace been like? Have we seen multiple different winners, or has it been the same names up the top?
Oh, the same guys are always battling up the front, but it's been very close. There's been a bit of switching up front. Hughesy hasn't dominated like he did last season. He's got a few formidable people he's got to race up there, and the guys have been great, mate. It's not as big a field as we had last season. But you sort of expect that for season 3. But I tell you what, close racing all the way through, and as usual, I am sitting there with a blue flag.
Well, I was going to say, you said the important bit of info there before that Hughes, he hasn't had it all his own way this season. That's exactly what I wanted to hear. So it's all good, mate.
Yeah,
but he's still leading the championship, but it is tight, mate. And looking at it, all the top 4 runners, Chris Ireland, I did get to mention that. He's the first non-crisscross racer in the championship. He's running P4, and he's only 6 points behind Greg Barber. So it's first 13 points back to second, 7 points back to third, 6 points back to fourth.
Yeah. It's going to be interesting these last 2 rounds, because it's anyone's game. That top 4-5 is going to be nuts. It's going to be really cool.
And just looking at the YouTube comments there, yes, Nick, I did see your comment before. I apologise, buddy. It was a great race by Tim to hold off Nathan at the end there in the Radicals race. It was a pretty exciting Radical race. So you're expecting more of the same here tonight, Stephen, for the Porsches?
I do. I reckon it's going to be awesome. I don't mind this track at all. Some people don't like this track, but I reckon it's pretty cool. But we've got some really fast pace coming out. Stephen McCartan's hit a 151.2, so he's 4/10 up on Dylan Shepherd at the moment. Hughesy will sort of hang for a while before he gets his lap in. He'll probably come out soon and just fly through it. I'm just gonna because I've got the old iRacing up at the moment. I'm just gonna see exactly where he is on track at the moment, and he will be warming. Here he is. He's getting ready for a fly. Yeah, he's getting ready for a fly. He's warming up his tyres as we speak. So he's going to be aiming for that time like crazy.
It's showing it in replay mode, I think, at the moment, though, Toddy. If you just want to check that. Right? Okay, cool.
Yeah, we're live and running. It's
end.
looking good.
Maybe it's just my end showing it at the moment, because I'm seeing the replay thing flash up on my screen.
So Hughes is sitting on a 151.8 at the moment.
Well, Greg Leake with some green sectors, Nathan Allen with some green sectors, Daniel Smith with some green sectors as well. So those guys are starting to put it together at the start of the lap. And Dylan Shepherd, that's 2 purple sectors. coming into the last sectors of the track. The Twin Rings
Nice.
Motegi, it's an interesting track. This was built back in '97 by Honda, and it was all a part of the drive to try and get IndyCar to race in Japan. We do know how much the Japanese love Americans, or American things. But it's one of those places that's unique. It's got a road course and an oval course. But the problem is that you can't actually race simultaneously on them because they share the sort of same pit facilities and the access roads. And like one becomes an access road while the other's racing. So it makes it a little bit hard. But pretty cool track. And we're running the east layout tonight. So that's got that switchback and blind corner that when you race this place at night, you just turn on blind faith. So at least they can see it this time.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. I'm actually I'm on board myself with Hughesy at the moment, and it looks like there's another teammate. Looks like he's behind him, catching the draft, getting a bit of a speed around the corner. But he's sitting at the moment pretty fast. Here we go. Stefan's got 4 yellows.
Stefan as he starts a new lap.
Yeah. Dylan DeBono has picked up a bit of pace there as well. Look at that. 151.205 and 151.206.
So he's right in the zone there. Sorry, just passing my performance sim racing teammate Harry Dodds, who's back tonight having some major computer dramas for the last week or so. So that's why we haven't seen Harry, but he's back out on track to once again battle for the Porsches. It's great to see.
I spoke to Harry yesterday actually, and he said the break was really good for him. He sort of feels a bit fresher, ready for the challenge. So it wasn't that bad that the computer was down for such a long time. He thinks he's going to come back even better than before. So head's a bit straighter on.
I think sometimes you need to have time away from things, to help you reset, re-energize. I know that I'm probably speaking blasphemy to most gamers out there on the planet, but
Hughesy's had a third sector in purple, and he's on a green at the moment. So he's pushing for that top.
Fire.
Yep. Oh, he's finished as a purple.
151
he's done it. Nice
flat.
Work. Nice. 151.063. So 2/10 on Stefan. So he's I'm not sure who the next car behind him was, but it was one of his teammates using his draft.
Greg Barber. It's Greg Barber there. So Greggy with a 151.7 that lap. So he did improve. Currently sitting in P4 at the moment. But it's our top 5 all inside the 151s at the moment. Chris Ireland just doing a 151.39, jumping up into 3rd position. So that's moved Dylan Shepherd down 1 position. But we still have about 5 minutes of qualifying left, buddy. So
Stefan McCartan's just done it. He's just got the last 2 sectors purple. He's just snuck that in.
That is 0.05 of a second there.
That is
151.014.
Yeah, that was a really good drive. He had, and there was a yellow section in there as well on his timing, so he's still got more room. He's still got a little bit more room.
Well, it's going to be a little bit different for me tonight, Stephen, because I've been used to commentating the fixed series.
Yeah.
We keep talking about you have to, run around and run the fuel out, and then do your out lap and try, and especially with the radicals and the F3s, the F3s and the TCRs, try and keep the tyres warm.
Dylan Shepherd's got 2 purple sectors. He's coming up in his last bit.
But we can see these guys resetting. With a 150.994.
And that again, he had room as well. There was yellows in there. So this is looking really interesting. We've got 4.5 minutes left of qualies, and these guys will probably get a cool down and another hit at it. So we've got
not only got the top
150.9.
3 cars inside a tenth of each other, they are inside 500ths of each other.
Yeah, that is nuts how close that is. That's going to be a battle like crazy. The top 5, and then you've got Dylan DeBono sitting behind him, who's no slouch.
Chris Ireland had a good first sector, but I might have backed out of it and did a 131, 151.5 that lap, so just a couple of tenths down on his best time so far. Harry Dodds, so far Harry in the 52s. We'll have to see if he can find some pace. Though again, he only just got his computer going this afternoon, so the sum of Harry's practice this week has been the last couple of hours.
Yeah. Yeah,
He certainly
doing well.
is.
He's doing well. I'm a bit upset with iRacing going to the orange colour instead of the traditional yellow. What's going on there with this? With the sectors. Yeah, so it's gone to a yellow. I thought I was seeing things here. It was like an orange colour. And I'm thinking to myself, is that a bad sector or what? Oh,
Keep
hang
an eye on Callum
Even
Hodgkinson
Callum
at the moment
Hodgson.
because he's got 4
On a
green
personal.
sectors out of 5.
Here we go.
What has Callum managed to?
A 50.
A 53.8.
3.8. Yeah.
So I think he's held his current position, but still looking for a little bit more pace out there to move up the field. But
But for
again, I
people-
mean, it still takes a lap or two for these tyres to come up to 10.
Yeah, it does. 100%. 100%. So for the people that are watching that haven't watched much racing, yellow is down on your previous lap, green is beating your previous lap time, and purple is beating everyone's time. Am I right?
It's
Am I right?
orange, apparently.
Orange, yeah.
So,
Orange on here now.
as iRacing SDK is concerned. And don't forget, guys, if you're out there in YouTube and Facebook land, throw your comments in there. If you're interested, we have racing 5 nights a week now at SRW. We've got our NASCAR trucks on Monday, dirt sprint car ovals on Tuesday. It's our TCR and F3 night on Wednesdays, Radicals Porsches on Thursdays, and the V8 Supercars on Sunday. Our Season 4 registration is currently open, and it's filling quickly. Shout out from Jared and Aaron working at Whitey Pies. Go the milk carton. Awesome, Jared. Thanks for the shout out, buddy.
It's always good to see the audience participating. So guys, you sitting there watching back, get involved. We're always here to have a bit of a banter with you as well. And you want to see someone special on track that you're following, let us know. We'll see what we can do for you.
More importantly, if you've got that nice juicy dirt on the person you're following, put it in the comments.
Yeah, please do. Please do. Also, like and subscribe while you're there. You know, push that red button. Don't be lazy.
That's it. Well, you've got to subscribe if you want to keep in touch with all the action here at SRW. Big things coming. It's going to be an awesome Season 4. It's the all Aussie track bonanza. And I think we're going to have some big numbers, guys, wanting to jump in and join the mayhem, not the mayhem on track, just the general mayhem here at SRW TV. All right.
Well, that's
So
quali
that-
finished. Who's
Is that
left
quali
on track
done?
that can
Is it
set
an
a time?
immediate quali? Or they get to finish their lap? Looks like Adam
They get
Hughes
to
is still
finish their
out
lap.
there.
Yeah,
Yep.
he's still
That's
out.
good to see.
So Stephen McCartan's on a 159.29. Dylan Shepherd on a 150.994. Mr. Hughes is on a 151.063, and he's got a yellow sector, orange sector. He's on a green. Let's see if he can make it through.
All right. Well, there's only one green sector there at the moment.
Yeah, it's not looking good at the moment.
I'm wondering if the toe is going to play a big part tonight here. There's not a couple of, I suppose they're more semi-straights than big long straights. Just a nice donut on the dirt.
I think that was more frustration of not being able to get there in the end. But you know what?
It's
That's still not
possible.
it's still, look at that. That's what is it? 1/10 in the top three. A 929, 994, and a 063. That is crazy.
Two drivers.
That is
into
crazy close.
150 flat inside the 151. That's crazy.
Yeah, will be it'll be interesting what's going to happen into this first corner. So who's going to take the punt? Who's going to take the risk?
Well, I think it's going to be the switchback because, you can go up the inside into one and you can have the inside load for two. But 3 and 4 are where the blindness starts to kick in around here. This
Yeah.
Twin Ring Motegi East layout. So to see how long they can go side by side. Well,
It's gonna
looks
be
like that
epic.
is our last car as back in the pit bay. So we'll try and get the ladder up as soon as we can. Just waiting for the last few seconds to tick down. So I will take the opportunity to once again thank our sponsors for here at SRW TV, our major sponsor DSL Welding Services. We've also got Pagnian Advanced Simulations. We have a special offer for the next level racing gear. So if you're chasing a new rig frame or wheelbase mount, come and have a chat to us and we'll point you in the right direction. We've also got the continued sport of Dragon RC. It's great to have them on board. We've also got Melville Equipment Court sponsoring our fastest lap. Warren and Brown Technologies and Toyo Sim joining the party along with the Promo Safety Department. It's getting a bit harder to say all those sponsors, man. You
It's
and
pretty.
Dean doing your work back there, buddy.
We're getting there, and there's a few more that are coming on board as well. But we'll talk about them in the next few. We've got 39 seconds. What have we got left for start at the moment? No, we've got a little bit of time left. Yeah, there's a few more coming on board that we'll be announcing for season 4. It's going to be a bit easier once the season itself starts, because everyone's got their own thing that they'll be supporting. But you know what? I really appreciate all of them coming on board, and we'll do whatever we can to make sure we promote them as best as possible for our racing. But I tell you what, this grid looks sensational. Do you want to go through them, Cowie?
All right, so we have the grid up in front, and it is Stephen McCartan for Crisscross Racing with a pole position for tonight's round 8 here at Twin Ring Motegi. Dylan Shepherd P2, and it was 0.05 of a second separating there. Adam Hughes, a 10th back. The other crisscross machine. Chris Island spoiling the crisscross party as well as Dylan. He's jumped his Send It Sim Sports machine up into P4. It's Greg Barber, Crisscross Racing P5. Dylan DeBono for Velocity Sim Sports. Benjamin Siren and Steve Tonkin for JWN Esports in row number 8. Harry Dodds for Performance Sim Racing, row number 9. David Leslie for After Dark Sim Racing in P10. And it is Tom Knight and Callan Hodgkinson, P11 and 12. I'm going to run out of time because the race is about to start, buddy. But we've got Tom Knight, Callan Hodgkin, Greg Leake, Nathan Allen, and the rest.
And they're off. Bit of smoke
we
and
can
tyres
see
there.
here is that Dylan Shepherd trying to come over and cover as much as he could. And looks like he's got...
They're door to door. Yeah, they're door to door.
Card and Adam Hughes looking to try and find a way on the inside as well. Oh, the hats are already getting moved, buddy, and it's lap 1.
That's going around the corner. I would be already off by now. That is crazy. They just tucked into each other nicely there.
Well, at the moment, our top 7 positions have all retained their spot at the moment. Well, we can see who was that. Was that Dylan DeMono? Taking a little bit of a look up the inside there.
I believe it was.
And is that Christopher Island right on the back of Adam Hughes, putting the pressure on. So there's no rest for the wicked, buddy. It's on straight away.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the pace of these guys. They're just so close bumper to bumper, and it still gets me on how they can get through that corner and not have to sort of pull up a little bit more. They're just so close. It's ridiculous.
Daniel Fritz at the back here. Something happened to Daniel nice and early. He's had a bit of an off track and has come straight to the back of the field. Nathan Allen also, he's well back. So there's some damage. Something happened to Nathan there as well. All right, so once again, thanks to DSL Welding Services. Is he going to get? No, he's just run wide.
Yeah, he's just run out just there. I think he had his first radical night tonight, so he thinks he's still driving the radical. Yeah.
Well, there was maybe a little bit of bump and grind between Dean and Greg up there in front too that we saw sort of in the corner of the camera. So
Yeah, they're
it's
not afraid
on
to
for
give
young
each other
and
a bit of
old.
a bump. Yeah, they're not afraid to give him a bump. Actually, the boys were giving him a bit of a ribbing roll while I was in the Radical, and I said, just remember, I'm hosting next, and Fritzy goes, oh, I think I'm stuffed. And I said, yes, you
Oh
are,
no,
mate.
who's that turned around there in the back?
They just missed
So
each other.
Harry's been turned
Hold your
around
brakes,
and Greg
hold your
Leake
brakes.
avoiding contact there. That's a great. Oh,
Oh, well done by Harry. He held his brakes. He
Yep.
did. He held his brakes and he did the right thing there. He could have quite easily tried to do a hard spin. He's just called that into RC to have a
So
look
I'll have
at.
to have a look and see what happened there. He maybe
Yeah.
got some help.
He's
Blinked
just
out.
dropped out. He's blinked out.
Blinked out. Yeah.
Yeah. So I
That's
don't even know.
unfortunate. Well, we were hoping everything was all sorted. That's a great avoiding action from Leaky too, because I think Leaky
Yeah.
lined him up.
That's a good little
There's a deer
promo
in
for
headlights there.
good little promo for Toyo Sim then. One of our new sponsors. Nice big on the camera.
Also one of our team sponsors as well, buddy. And yeah, I know we
Correct.
love having them on board. And the car looks awesome there, Harry. Just looks better when it's pointing in the right direction. So
Yeah,
I think that's just a bit unlucky, man, when he blinked out. And I know that Scotty and Tyson in the V8 broadcast were talking about it. And the incident happened with me. I think one of the cars next to me blinked out. And I held my line and it reappeared where I thought
Inside you.
Well, no,
Yeah.
not inside me where the guy thought the car would be. I left room. So I don't know if the same happened there for Harry and the guys involved around there, but it's always pretty disconcerting when a car suddenly disappears on you.
Yeah. Yeah, little brother's doing okay. He's sitting in 13th. Oh, here
No,
we
he's
go.
in ninth
Adam
position
Hughes
at
is
the moment, buddy. He's inside the top 10 and up 10.
putting something into he's putting something.
Alright, so just have a look to see where oh, so that's he's done well to avoid that too. So Talon Hodgkinson looping the car around there as well. Paul Gerlin on the on Facebook. Let's go, boys. Great to see, buddy. And just a little bit of bump drafting going on there between Leaky and Tom Knight. But Dean's having a great run at the moment, and that SRW livery looks pretty good when it's not bent up, buddy. You thought about following that strategy yourself?
I don't actually give the sponsors a lot of room because my panel's usually dented beyond recognition. But Dean's not real. You know what Dean's problem is? He's overdriving sometimes. He's got some pace. He gets a bit frustrated sometimes and overdrives it and just spins it, which is unfortunate. But he's getting better and better all the time.
I do know he likes to be a nuisance out there on track and make that car nice and wide as he can. So, I know.
Yeah, the Paul Gillen just turned around and said, "Don't jinx him." But you know what?
Commentators curse.
Gee.
You're not supposed to mention that, Paul. So maybe we better change off the screen and not look at too much more of Dean in case it comes. But he is pushing hard there against David Leslie at the time. All right, well, this is back up front. Was that a bit of a lock-up from Greg Barber there?
So looking at about, what is it? It's 0.6 from Stefan to Dylan. Adam Hughes is 1 second off, and then 1.6 from Chris Island. So these guys are pretty much 5 to 6 tenths apart.
Yeah, much similar to our Radical race tonight. The top four are all within a couple of seconds of each other, and we're well and truly into this race. So it's a 40-minute race tonight, guys. Not sure what the fuel limit is out there. If you've got any information, please let us know. I'll have a quick look and see if I can see that, Steve.
Yeah, Hughes has just set the fastest lap of the race at the moment, a 1:51.06.
It certainly has.
that's not right what I've said, but it's 159.
No, it was a 151.9 he's done so far.
9, yeah.
95. Okay, so there's a clarification of the rules there by the race control. Series information tonight. It's a
Okay, so
Yeah,
there's
race
no
control
action against the
script
last
only
one
had
due
there.
to blinking. That was when Dodsey spun. But it's just unbelievable.
all right.
You know what? I don't know
so-
how you guys talk all the way through this. I just get so mesmerised by the racing. I forget that I'm in the hosting position. So it's
you forget I have my own channel where I talk and drive at the same time, buddy. So I could probably.
yeah, I don't know how you
talk
do that. I mean, I do talk and drive all the time, but I talk badly and I drive worse.
Well, just having a look, it's 45% fuel restriction for these cars tonight. So if anyone's got any information out there and can let us know what the burn per lap is, but I would say these guys can require a
Dylan De Bono's
get the
towing.
race done. Dylan De Bono has requested a tow. What's happened there?
Don't know, but he's requested a
So
tow.
he's entered
So
pit lane.
yep.
Oh, I'm gonna
He's
have to
done
see
something
what
because he's
happens.
asked for a tow. So let's see what's going on here. So that's Nathan in front of him.
Oh, that's just that tag slapper.
Oh.
So he just had a bit of. There's something happened with his rig. Is he pulled
It
off?
looks like it might be. It looks like it
He's
might
got
be.
damage there on the left front,
Yep.
but he's just pulled straight over. So something maybe scored wrong on his rig or his hardware, maybe.
Yep. So there. So what's he
Alright.
done? He's come. Oh,
That's I think there's two pit lanes, isn't it? So he's probably gone to the other pit lane.
yeah. He's pulled into the wrong pit lane.
Yeah, that's what's happened.
Yeah. He's pulled into the wrong lane, but he's having technical difficulties with his rig. So he's pulling a pin on the night. So he's hasta la vista, baby. He's gone for the night, unfortunately. I know he has
How's
issues.
Dylan been going in the championship? He's fairway
good. I
down
mean,
numbers.
You know, Dylan races real well, so he's been focusing a bit on that over the last few weeks.
Yeah, driving the he drives the Hyundai XLs.
Yeah.
He's been doing a bit of the TCR.
Nathan Allen has just retired as well. He's got obviously that's his second pit entry, and he's obviously got no fast repairs left, so he's pulled out for the night.
Oh no.
Yeah.
We've already had a couple of big departures that.
Yeah.
Well, and Tom Knight in the pits as well. Looks like a lengthy pit stop as well. So I didn't hear on the radio that a safety car was coming out. So we
Yeah,
are
they're
still
still-
green flag
still
running.
running.
And at the moment, it is Stephen McCartan leading the DRS train. No DRS, just the train.
The train.
And Dylan Shepherd tucked right in behind him. Maybe looking to save a bit of fuel here. Adam Hughes, it's 1.2 seconds back to Adam Hughes in P3, and Chris Island right on his bumper as well, which you see at the back there, Greg Barber, getting back into the swing of things. That little mistake, tank slapper himself earlier on, cost him a little bit of time, so we'll keep an eye on on Greg's times. Oh no, David Leslie's had a crash.
McCartan's dropped 4 spots.
Oh no, so something has happened there to our race leader. We better have a look and see what's happened here. So, he's gone in deep and got on the gas a bit too hard. Lost the rear,
That's a
tank
shame.
slapper.
Yeah.
He's done well, he's recovered that. That is
He's
what you
kept it off the
call
wall.
get out of jail free card.
Yeah,
Get a
he's
tank
kept it off all
slapper.
he's done well.
The fact that it was at low speed probably is what saved him there. He had a chance to catch it. But then, us mere mortals would probably have looped it then and lost a further 5 or 10 seconds.
Yeah,
So,
100%.
He's done well to stay on top of that.
And he's still maintaining it with the front pack. So he's only 1.3 from the leader. So that's still pretty good considering he's been off track. I probably would have had to park it if it was me. Well, let's see what Dylan's going to do here. Is he going to pull away off it?
It'll be interesting because he was sitting in the toe there. I think he's going to try and, see if he can break the toe. But just looking at the YouTube chat, Jared just asking, is the famous Jake Edwards not racing tonight? What's happened to Jake Edwards?
He raced last night. I haven't seen him on tonight at all, so he might be taking a night off, mate.
Yeah, it's possible. I mean,
He's just another fastest lap.
all live, eat, breathe, drink, sleep, dine out on sim racing like some sick bitches I know.
I just wish I could race better and make that time a bit more exciting.
Well, there's a great musician's meme that comes up that is where the person's talking to the musician. I think I can't understand how you got such amazing talent. Well, it's just practice. Yeah, but I mean, it must be a gift from God. No, it's just practice. But I mean, I'm just so talented. No, it's practice.
Yeah.
That's what. In the end,
it is.
It's all about doing the laps and driving the car. I'm getting some good results in the V8 Supercar now. Notice that big fuel save there from Tuesday. And so that is interesting. I'll have to keep an eye on the numbers and see.
He's
a zero stopper.
He's maintaining that 7/10 behind. He's just done a fastest lap the last lap. Maybe he's planning on it. I'm not sure what their strategy is going to be for stopping.
That was another big run of the clutch there from Husey. And we can see that Chris Island now closing right up on the back. So I wouldn't be surprised to see that fuel may well have come into the equation tonight. Because of the iRacing maintenance schedule for tonight, guys, we've had to shorten both of the races. Well, they both chopped about a 5-minute chop, did they?
Yeah, I think there's something like that, about a 5-minute chop. Right. But you know what?
Is that 5-minute chop opened out that window that you can fuel save and get home without a stop?
It possibly could be, because in the radicals...
Saw it in the radicals? No stop required in the radicals. And it meant that fast repair wasn't the get out of jail free that it normally is. Well, last night in the F3s, we had a massive Darren Fay, was it? No, it was Darren that come away with it after a moment early on, and the fast repair kept him in the game, and the safety car got him back on the lead lap, and he was able to take it out. So
he did really well. That was a great track to race. I really enjoyed that race last night.
That's great to see, buddy, man. Got your tick of approval.
I don't mind the look of this mighty pies, the old fangs of the tiger at the front. It's pretty cool. I mean, it's hard to see unless you know what it is, but it's a good little livery. I think we have to have a chat to Stefan about the image that he's put on for himself, though. Himself in some shorts, not very flattering. I'd suggest that the team logo probably work better there. So he's a New Zealand lawn bowls champion, is that right? Okay. He's done a lot of real world racing too. He's done a bit of that dirt ovals too. So he's been out there for a young fella. Call him a young fella.
He's going to have to draw on that experience tonight after a little mistake there, but a great catch, and he's now a couple of seconds off this battle.
Yeah, he's slowly creeping back.
Well,
he's under 2 seconds now. He needs to
find a second there so he can get that toe and get back in and battle hard again. We are on lap 9, 15 minutes into our 40-minute race tonight. Looking at it, I think estimating it's going to be about 22 laps. So at the moment we're close to halfway. So we'll just have to keep an eye out if anyone makes an early pit stop.
Yep.
But it takes 2 or 3 laps to get the tyres up to temperature. So you don't think these guys will go for tyres?
I don't know. I reckon Stefan definitely won't. He won't, because he's sitting in that pocket there.
Well, I think the other issue is too, I think the tyres adds on time to the stop as well. Like you can't do tyres.
It does, yeah. So Stefan definitely won't go for tyres.
So
there's a gap there.
Lock up there for Dean, going deep.
Yeah. You're looking at the top 7 are really, really tight, and there's a bit of a gap there. And then it looks like Dean's racing on his own there with Doddsy 3 seconds behind him. then David Leslie after him again.
Well, that's a pretty good recovery from Harry, because there was a big moment there with his spin, and that threw him right to the back. So he's at least staying in touch with someone, and we all know that it's, you know, it's much more fun to chase someone out there than drive around by yourself.
Yes. Daly's just got to keep it clean from here onwards if he wants a top 10 finish. But he nearly had it off just before, but we'll see how they go. It's good to see Doddsy is recovering slowly. Yeah.
Toddy just trying to get in on the avoiding the commentator's curse as well. But no, well, you've got to stand up to it, Dean. If we're going to talk crap about you on the live stream, then you know, you have to put up with the camera being on you, buddy. Well, at the moment, how do things, with things finish as they are, how much does that change up our championship? So
Look, I think it's
Dylan Shepherd is running back in P8, so he's about 150 points off the lead. So he's a bit of a red herring, and he doesn't have a drop round available to him at all. So Dylan's the person in the pack here which is going for the W. That's all that's on his mind. There's no championship in his thoughts. Now the next thing is Adam Hughes, our championship leader, has got 13 points on Stephen McCartney, who's now an extra spot back. Chris Ireland has jumped up into the mix. Now, Chris Ireland running P4 in the championship, and he's ahead of Greg Barber, who's P3.
This is going to mix it up a bit. This is going to make the next round really tasty.
You know, we're talking about single-figure digits between some of these battles here for the championship, with drop rounds available. And it's, as it stands at the moment, this is only going to narrow the gap.
It is. Yeah.
Oh no, Daniel Smith, what's happened here? He's the Red Bull machine. There's always a sharp looking livery. We'll have a look and see what's happened to him here. Well, she's going in deep. Just tried to carry a little bit too much speed. You know, it's one of the things we talk about in our team practices, and when you're trying to explain to a newer sim racer how to drive and not spin, avoid spins. So what you've got to think about, Steve, is think about the tyre has 100% of grip. Now, if you want to accelerate with that, then you've got to use some of that grip for acceleration, don't you? If you want to brake with it, you've got to use some of that grip for braking. If you want to turn, you've got to use some of that grip for turning. So, the general rule in racing is, if you're in a straight line, you can brake as hard as you want. As soon as you start to turn the wheel, you've got to try and come off that brake. Because if you're already braking at 80 or 90%, and then you add another 20 or 30% of grip by turning, you've now exceeded 100. The tyre doesn't like that, it hasn't got it. That's why you end up with understeer, or you lose the rear. Well, generally it's the other way around with the rear. They'll be losing the rear because they're trying to, the car is still turning, and you're trying to use that grip for turning, and now you're applying acceleration, and you're applying too much acceleration, and she steps out.
Oh, look at that! He's gaining on that braking point. Was nice.
Well, there's a bit of gamesmanship going on between these guys at the moment.
Yeah,
they're all taking opportunities to save a bit of fuel where they can.
Yeah.
We still don't know, is that because they can make it home if they do it, or it's just looking for that little bit of an advantage in the pit stop. I suppose that's the beauty of watching it all live, Steve. Here
Watching
at
it all
SRW TV
unfold,
is we
mate,
get to see it play out, buddy.
And that's it. That's why we love it so much. When you look at this and you look at the real world racing, and there's a lot of real world racing applies to the sim racing, and some people think it's just a game, but you know what? There's some comparisons there with saving tyres, saving fuel, and it's a similar sort of system as you would do in a real car. It's no different.
We talk about as sim racing almost being a platformer, a driver tool, an aid for real world racing. So we're using the sim to get kids into it, or to even the big premier F1 teams have got their own simulators that they're using to work out the setup, and practice tracks,
When you
all
look at
that
this
sort
new
of stuff.
generation of drivers, that are out there, they're quicker to adapt to a different vehicle because they're adapting to cars and different techniques they've got to use in these cars on iRacing. So your Lando Norris's, your Verstappen's, they do this stuff for fun 24/7, yeah.
Oh,
And there's a lot
Shane
of
Van Gisbergen
correlation.
started on dirt in his dad's tractor or his dad's car in the backyard on the property, doing donuts in the mud. It was a Casey Stoner. One of the reasons he was a great, he always was able to get the bike sideways in MotoGP was he was a dirt speedway rider. That's what you do in those cars. But what I was sort of getting at with that discussion, Stephen, is we think about sim racing as the platform into the real world. I've been talking to a few guys that have done the real world driving, and they reckon it's harder to go back to the sim than it is the other way around.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Because
your seat of arse feel is
exactly.
is
That
completely
seat of
different.
pants feel is the hardest to replicate in a sim.
You're using your eyesight so you can see.
That's right.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
I know those
like,
guys. The good real world racers, will adapt. They've got the skills. They've already, tested those skills in the real world. So it's all there. It's just a matter of, feeling out the inputs and getting used to it. I mean, it's great that there's, we've got, sponsors like Pagnian, Advanced Simulations, and Toyo Sim that both offer, sort of those entry-level direct drive wheels as well. So,
they do.
it's just becoming more and more accessible. And we're seeing more and more families. Look at the Gerlins. Was it the TCRs? We had 4 of them on track on Tuesday night, on Wednesday night.
It's crazy, and it's good to see them all coming in and enjoying it and having fun. Look, if you people are out there watching and you haven't tried the simulation world, reach out to SRW if you want some advice on what sort of equipment to get, and we've got a lot of people in our Discord that are willing to help straight away, and give you some advice on where to start, how to start. Our league is we're based around development. With your Super 2s, the trainings we do for free.
Program coming up as well, haven't we?
So we've got a junior program coming up, and that'll have 2 weeks of free training for people to just come in and try it in the coming weeks. So that'll be posted again in the next couple of days. But it's all about getting out and having fun. That's all it is to it.
Look,
and
I
these
call
guys
myself
are
Cowie,
having a
your
blast.
average sim racer, buddy. So I think so far in my iRacing career, I have 2 official wins out of about 250 races. So I'm definitely not lighting up the leaderboard. But for me, it's all about the battles on track. And I got a little bit of a kick myself last week when I got a toe off Jamie Dyke and managed to out qualify him. That was a little bit of a kick, but he quickly dispatched me in the race when I decided to get Will Spin off the start. And that's the thing, you can compete against those fast guys, and every now and again you just find it. And
look, you've got to remember as well, you're not only having battles up front, battles are all the way through the field. You might not see it always on the stream, but you look at the times between Dean and Tonkin at the moment, there's only a couple of tenths in it. There's battles all the way around the back, and the boys race for every single position. So even if you're a lot slower, you don't have to be in the battle at the front. You can be in the battle in the middle and the battle at the back. There's always fun to be had.
I think I've hogged my fair share of airtime in the mid-pack battle this season. So if I can do it, I'm sure you guys out there can do it too. But the other thing that happens is it's hard to go away from the front of the pack when you've got the front 3 runners all within a second of each other. They're going to tend to hog the broadcast as well, as they rightly should.
And it's always harder to be on your own as well. Look, at the moment we're watching. We've got Dean and Doddsy. So my teammate and your teammate, 4 seconds apart, and Dean looks like he's finding some pace. But I've got my gut's telling me that Doddsy's saving fuel.
I think Dean actually lost a couple of seconds to Harry last lap. So I don't know if Dean had a moment there, because I think that gap was a little bit closer.
Yeah. And here's Doddsy now. Let's see if he's saving fuel.
Well, we'll have to keep an eye. He's coming down. So this will be the first big zone that'll tell you if they're clutching or not. Harry's chasing it, so
Yeah, Harry's
Um,
chasing.
and again, it is one of those things that sometimes it's just not worth trying to save when you're coming back.
Well, David Leslie and Callum Hodgson, there's 0.6 between them two. They're battling in 10th and 11th, so they're battling for the top 10 finish. It looks like Leslie's creeping right up on him by looking at the times there. Then you've got Benjamin Siren is 0.6 on Barber.
Yep.
So there's 3 battles going along there on their own.
Something's
And then you've got
happened to Greg as
Husey.
well.
Yeah, and now Husey is right on the back of Shepherd.
Of Shepherd, that's
All right,
right.
so someone's gone in the pits there.
That's
Leslie's
David
gone in the
Leslie
pits.
coming into the pits. But
Yep.
yeah, so something's happened to Greg Barber because he was right on the back of that battle. It was a 4-car battle up
Yeah.
front only a lap or 2 ago, and he's now about 11 seconds off the pace. So we don't know what happened there. But Stephen McCartan has pitted also, so he's in P6 at the moment.
Yep.
Just having a look at the pit lane times. With Daniel Smith, the only car that did over a minute in the pit lane, so I think he might have been the only person to have taken tyres. Looking at the pit times themselves, yeah, it's only 7 or 8 seconds stopped. These guys are just getting a splash of fuel, but we'll have to keep an eye out and see. 7 seconds in the pits. That's probably a little bit too much fuel to save out there on track, would you think, Stephen?
Yeah, I think so.
I mean, even if
There's
you're
a bit of
stationary,
action.
if you're
There's
only
a bit of-
putting in a few litres.
Yeah. There's a bit of action going on. Benjamin Siren is right up there on
Greg Barber's
Greg
close
Barber
right
at
up.
the moment.
Look at it.
He's really pressing him hard at the moment.
Well, I know Benjamin
Yeah,
Siren, he had a few race wins in last season with the Porsches, so we do know that he's got pace.
He's got the pace.
And,
I think he
currently
was gone
running
for most of
P5.
this season.
Sorry?
I think Benjamin was off for a while with computer issues for a while, so he wasn't
okay.
racing for a while. Yeah.
If
I'm right.
sim racing equivalent of technical engine failures in the racing world. So even though you don't have to travel anywhere to race at Twin Ring Motegi, do it in the comfort of your own home, in the comfort of your rig or your desk chair or whatever, technical gremlins can still, affect a motor car, or they can affect your sim as well. So
Yeah.
I suppose it's a
Hughes
fact
is on
of
a hunt
life.
at the moment.
He's pushing hard here.
Yeah, he's pushing really hard. He's trying to, I reckon, not this lap, he's not close enough yet, but if he can keep this pace up,
Let's have a listen.
he'll be in a good position next lap.
Doesn't look like he's clutching at the moment there.
Yeah, he's really pushing hard now.
Well, it could be one of those things too that, and that is
Oh,
Chris Island going into the
Into the
Dylan
pits.
Shepherd, was it? Going into the pits?
Dylan
Yeah.
Shepherd into the pits, yeah.
Yeah, so it will be interesting. But yeah, look, we'll have
How
a
long is he taking in there? Greg Island's in the pits as well. Oh, everyone.
Chris
Barber,
Island, yep.
Siron.
So Hughesy with that
Hughes is the
saving
only
has
one that stayed out.
maybe managed to sneak an extra lap on the rest
Yeah.
of the field. So
Well,
We'll
he's
have to see
pedal
if
to the
that
metal
is a
now. Let's see if he
factor.
can get himself a gap. Yeah. He's a,
Oh,
he's a
he-
crafty old cat, that.
he does know his stuff, Adam. So I'm sure that
Yeah, he
he's
does.
running to a number he needs to do. And I think sometimes, with a lot of the software and that you can get, that you can run, your overlays and things on, and some of them will tell you how close you are to getting an extra lap. So, he might have been looking at it early on and it says he's going to do, 16.8 laps on this tank. So he's only got to say 0.2 to get that lap 17, So
Yeah, correct. Looks like Trading Paints is playing up because Dylan Shepherd's got a really cool Bob Jane T-Mark livery on his car, and you can't see
it's not
it, which is a
showing
real
through.
shame because it looks really cool when they're racing each other. But yeah, it's a shame that the Trading
We
Paints
do
isn't
apologise
working
for
at the
that if
moment for
Trading
him.
Paints is playing that, because I'm not seeing that livery you're talking about either there, buddy.
Yeah, it's not sure if it's ours since the iRacing upgrade. Trading Paints has been having a bit of issues.
Yeah.
But we'll see what happens. We've just done a quick reboot of Trading Post to see if it fixes it, but it might not be. It might be something internally in his system. But anyway,
it's one of the things that sets iRacing apart, I think, from some of the other sims.
Hughes is in the pits.
There we go. So he has got that
Let's see
extra
where he
lap
comes
time. We'll
out.
keep an eye out and see if it's the undercut or the overcut.
He's
that's
got
the
20
play.
seconds. He went into the pit. He had 20 seconds advantage over Dylan Shepherd. So let's see what it eats up when he comes out.
Well, the pit lane time transit for Dylan Shepherd, the total pit lane time was 35 seconds.
Yep.
So it's going to be close.
Yeah, that was a quick stop.
Here they come.
Here we go. Yep. Oh, he's just come out in front of him nicely. So he's done an undercut.
No, that's an overcut, because he kept going, yeah. So,
yeah, well done.
And if anything, I think Dylan would be fairly happy. He hasn't lost too much time, but that is a definite overcut from Adam Hughes. And get the passing done in the pits if you can. Look at that.
Yeah, yeah.
A lot easier to get it done in the pits than on the track.
Oh, that was a bit of a tail waggle there. So
well,
Dylan's pushing real hard.
Well, that's right. But as we said, these guys likely did not take tyres. So will tyres become a factor as we get near the end of this race? We are inside the last 7 minutes of this race. I think we're estimating maybe another 4 laps after this one. So these guys are running out of time to get it done.
Yeah.
So Stefan's done well. Looks like he's made the recovery through the pit stop cycles.
Yep. He's still 6 seconds back from the leaders, but he's done well. He's maintained that pace since he's come out of that spin that he had. He'll be kicking himself like crazy tonight.
It's a lonely P3 on the podium there, but it is P3 on the podium. So
look, he needs the points to keep in the hunt, because who knows what happens next round.
Well, that's right. Well, at the moment, Adam Hughes out in front, so the way we were talking about those championship battles, he's in the position to extend his and hang on to that drop round to save it for a rainy day. Only one round 100%. Left in the championship. Those drop rounds are going to be the key.
It's, you know what, sometimes you just forget this is iRacing, because the way these guys race and how close they race.
I was getting to it, and we get distracted when there's action on track, which is perfectly warranted. But yeah, I was sort of talking about that. It's one of the things that makes iRacing step out compared to some of the other race titles out there, is the fact that the cars do have that look and behaviour that they look like they're behaving like a real car would, with the bumps and the way they roll and pitch and all that.
Correct.
Because some of the other titles don't have that look from the camera.
Yeah.
They might have that look when you're inside the cockpit, but that's not as much work done on the outside camera side of it. Whereas that is a big part of iRacing. It's being right from the word go, all about broadcasting. But the other thing, the addition of trading paints, being able to run custom paints and run your own liveries, run your own sponsors on your own cars. How awesome is that?
Yeah, that
and it's a lot easier than the way you got to do skins in some of the other games. Oh, Greg.
100%. Oh, no.
Benjamin pushed a little bit too hard there.
I was just about to say that Benjamin's on a hunt here, and another lap he'll have him. And then just before I open my mouth, he's let that arse end slide out.
Oh, I was going the other way. I was about to say that Benjamin's applying the pressure on Greg.
Yeah, look at that.
And
look
looks
that.
like
He
that
thought he was going to hit him. That's what it was.
Just pushed it a little bit too hard himself, mate.
Yeah, he did. He just braked that little bit too late, or Chris has broken just that little bit earlier than he expected.
It's not done and dusted, but only got about 3 laps to go. It's going to be hard for him to make that up. And what has happened to Dylan Shepherd? He's had a massive moment as well, because he is now in P3. He's stepping a car in front of him.
Yeah,
you better
he's
try and
dropped
find
that
what's
12
happened
seconds.
there, Toddy.
He's
every time we go to a replay,
that.
something happens.
Here we go.
Oh, grass.
He's done a 360 on it. Oh, just off the wall.
He's done well to avoid damage, but that's
He's
grass.
done well. He's done well. Well, he's let Stefan through, so he's done well.
Oh, well, Stefan will be happy with that, because that keeps his championship hunt alive.
It does. It's going to do. This ladder is going to be ridiculous. It's going to be unbelievable. I reckon there'll be a bit of there'll be a bit of chin wagging and teasing going on in Discord after this about points and everything like that. I guess Stefan just needs to finish clean now. And,
I mean,
Husey as
Stefan's
well.
doing all he can do to minimise the damage, but you know the issue is that at the moment Adam's in front of him, much like it was with me with Matty Keane. I had to finish in front of Matty Keane last week to try and take some points off him, and he got me again. So it's you know, and you're running out of rounds, Stefan. I know, mate. I'm running out of rounds too. We better get our butts in gear and get this done.
Matty Keane's been a silent assassin, man. He's been slowly improving. He's done really well this season.
Nah, he's too good for Super 2, mate. You know, that's my time.
Oh, look, you know, he got better and better as the season progressed.
That's all good. I'm only stirring, man.
But Kerry, you've improved
stealing
as well,
my title,
mate.
But that's all right. I'll let him have it.
You've improved a lot as well in these last 2 seasons. I think joining Tyson's team has been, I think it's been really good for your driving, mate. To be honest.
Oh, look, a few equipment upgrades, new pedals and things like that as well. That always help. I've got a pretty good rig here now that most people are jealous with. But we get back to what we talked about before, mate. The P's, you know. So it's all about practice. The more time you got in the car,
past Leaky. It'd be quite funny if Leaky missed his break point now.
Nah, that was Leaky's a lap down, so he's just like.
Yeah, I know. But having a back marker, he could have done like I did to Scotty a few weeks ago at in the radicals when I plowed through him.
Greg knew he was coming there, so he got out of the way.
Yeah, he did. He did.
At the moment,
as much as he
we
loves
are this. I have to keep an eye out. Is this our final lap or lap 21? I think we might get one more lap. So let's keep an eye on Barney the Flag Man, because we might be coming up to the 40-minute race. Has gone and flown on us, buddy. As we've managed to talk about just about everything under the sun.
It has. You know what? It's the closeness is gone. There's 8 seconds, 3 seconds, 7 second gap, 4 seconds. So the errors after that, you know, first before the pit stops, everyone was right up each other, really close. I think the pit stops and the tyre temperatures have really affected some of these guys. It looks like Dean.
Maybe the chaser, the person chasing tonight.
Looks
is the
like
one that's
Dean is all over. Who's that? He's overlapping someone. I thought for a second that it was Dodsey and he's had an episode, but it's not.
Yeah, David Leslie.
Yeah, David Leslie's a second behind him.
But we better go back to the front because these guys are on their final lap.
This is it.
And our championship leader, Adam Hughes, looks like he's got enough to get it done as we come through. This is the final S's section and back down onto the main straight. And it will be Adam Hughes for Crisscross Racing taking out round 8 of the SRW Porsche 992 Season 3 Cup Series. Stefan McCartan, P2 in the championship, P2 in tonight's race. Needed to finish in front of Adam, so that gap is going to just widen a little bit more, but he did minimise the damage. So
there's still a lot to be won in the last race.
That's it. Dylan Shepherd finishing P3. Dylan was having a great race there, and maybe just a little mistake has cost him. And but he's still done good enough to bring it home in P3. Greg Barber, we're having a look at Chris Island now in P6, but Greg Barber, has he come around and finished? We're still, we're still on that last lap. Because I can't see any flags coming out. Did we get an extra lap in again?
I think that call you just made is not going to change anyway, so we'll pretend that that was the last lap.
But well, normally I have made this mistake before, Stephen, where I've called it a lap too early. So I was paying attention to the timing there, and I even asked for to keep an eye on Barney. But where is Barney?
It's one more lap to go. It should be one more. Then it'll be one more lap, and then it'll be a white flag next one.
No. Have we run into maintenance? I hope not.
No,
I hope not. because we are over time. Yeah,
Here we go. There's a checkered flag now. So this is Husey
right,
coming
so-
through for the checkered flag.
And look where Barney's hiding. That's why we couldn't see him. Where is he up on his tower?
Ah, he's down on the floor on the bottom of
Yeah.
the tower.
Well, it is Adam Hughes, and yes, it does stay as I called it, thank God. Adam Hughes, Crisscross Racing, Stephen McCartan, his teammate, Milk Carton himself, P2 for Crisscross Racing. Dylan Shepherd spoiling the Crisscross party by taking the last spot on the podium ahead of Greg Barber. So, and Benjamin Siren, P5. Benjamin might be cursing himself there because he was on for a grandstand finish.
He
Just
was.
pushed a
He
little
was.
hard.
Yeah, Chris Arnold's trying to get a bit too close to Barney there for the flag. I think he was trying to steal it off him.
I was wondering if a few of these
Steve-
guys want to
Steve
do it
Tonkin in
tough with a rear
seventh.
grid for the next race, maybe.
Yeah.
Damage the
And
cars
here
and can't
comes,
get it back to the pits.
Young Harry Dodds in 8th.
The 8th?
Yeah. That's
a
not a
good
bad
return
recovery
for
from
Harry.
his spin. Yeah.
With a big blinking moment there that could have cost him, or did cost him, could have cost him more, but
Yeah.
Dean has hung on to David Leslie here. This is his
Yep.
last chance.
Here we go. Here we go. Will he hold this last corner?
This is for P9.
Oh, he's right behind him. I think he's done it. I think
Dean's got it
David
done.
hasn't got enough.
No.
Hasn't got enough to be under him. Well done. There goes the little brother in 9th for a top 10 finish, and David Leslie in 10th, followed by Callan Hodgson, Greg Leake, D. Smith, and Daniel Fritz, who looks like he must have had more damage and pulled out.
Dan's had a bit of a rough night tonight.
Yeah.
A bit of damage there, but one of those tracks that is really going to put the cat amongst the pigeons. It has for the TCRs, it has for the Porsches. Got the V8s to come here, buddy. So I don't know if I'm
Yeah.
looking forward to it now.
Yeah, it's kind of, I can't believe the season's over. It's like that we're there. It's like, crikey.
Well,
It
but
doesn't feel
I
like
thought
it's
you'd be
been-
excited for season 4, mate. You
Well,
want this
season
one over so you
4
can jump straight into season 4. All Aussie tracks. Winton, Bathurst, Phillip Island, Sandown.
Yeah, we're going around twice, and we're going to have
And
a
Oran
lot
Park
of
as well.
fun. Yeah,
Oh,
Oran Park. It's going to be fun. Going to be really
Great
fun.
news from iRacing on the weekend that they are going to scan Fukukoe.
Yes.
So we'll have a Kiwi track on the server soon too. It's not going to happen that quick,
So
Toddy.
they won't have Pukekohe ready till probably end of 23.
I heard there's one more race meet in April, or is it in March, and they're closing the track in April. So I think that's when it's probably going to happen. Because there's one more race meet to go, I think.
It's a shame that some investor doesn't come in and rescue the place. It's got to be the history. It's a great place for racing.
Oh, look, we'd love that to happen with all the tracks. I mean, but
Yeah.
I suppose it's just the reality of the world is that you can't race tracks are going to try and turn a profit, or at least break even. If they're costing people money, then they're only going to throw money at it for so long. I mean,
Yeah.
we can't all be Enzo
Unfortunately.
Ferrari and build a sports car empire to fund our racing.
Yeah. Or a Lamborghini that started building tractors.
Well, yes, but he only built sports cars because he had some good ideas for Enzo Ferrari, and Ferrari told him to get stuff, so he said, well, bugger it, I'll make one myself.
I'll make one myself. It's going to be better than yours and beat you.
That's it.
Yeah.
Well,
So the boys are doing their
Porsche
cool-down laps. I haven't seen McCartan do his burnouts yet.
Well, we do have Stephen McCartan and Adam Hughes in the green room at the moment. Just waiting to see if Dylan Shepherd is on the comms tonight. We'd like to try and grab him in first as our P3 finisher. But if that doesn't happen, then what we might do... there he is. Well, we do have our race results up on the screen. So it is Adam Hughes, Crisscross Racing, finishing ahead of his teammate and championship rival Stephen McCartan. Dylan Shepherd in P3, Greg Barber, the other Crisscross Machine P4, and Benjamin Siren. That is our top 5. And here is I'll grab Dylan Shepherd when I get my cursor back. There we go.
You got him.
All right, here is Dylan. We'll bring him into the broadcast, buddy. Oh, mate, so close. It was a great battle there, but then just got away from you in one spot.
Yeah, not wrong. It was an awesome race. I seemed to be throwing it away the last week and this week and last week at Okayama. Just little mistakes, but yeah, I saw Adam came out with the lead, and I tried to see what his times would be like, and they were quick, so I thought I'd have to push pretty hard, and I just put myself in that mindset of having to push the limit, and yeah, obviously went over it. So
Well, that's
Yeah.
what it is, buddy. You know, I mean, you might think it's an unforced error, but it was Adam got in front of you and had you shown pace, mate. You had to turn it on. So sometimes it is do or die, isn't it?
yeah, you're not wrong. That's exactly it. It was a bit of a shame, like especially watching the lap times after I spun. I was like 6/10 a lap quicker than the two in front. So, I mean, they probably just backed off because I had the gap. But yeah, it seemed like I got it together once, like after I spun. But I mean, Adam's a class driver, and so's.
Oh, don't say that too loud.
hopefully he wasn't listening for that.
Well, I was
Adam
going
and
to say, it was
Steph
like
and all the
it was
boys
like
on that team are.
4 or 5 car battle there for quite a good chunk of that lap. Because you
Oh,
had
good 10
Chris
first 10
Barber
laps.
and in amongst it as well, and Chris Island. So there was a bit of a train going on there for a while, and you were trying to keep them all behind. So
Yeah, that's it. Like, I was just behind Steph for the first few laps, and then he made a little mistake and gave me the lead. And yeah, I mean, I was honestly pushing so hard just to try and get a gap, and it wasn't happening. So the boys behind were on it, and they weren't giving it to me tonight. And yeah, I mean, it was good on them, and just awesome racing as we have every week.
How were
Hey,
the tyres out of the pits? Did you take tyres? Just came out the same ones.
No, I never really take the tyres on the Porsche. It's just way too much time lost. But you do get a cold tyre advantage for like a lap or two, where like you can just watch your relative box on the dash just be green for the next 2 laps out of the pit. So that's what frustrated me when Adam came out in front. I knew his next lap or two was going to be pretty quick while I had the hot tyres. So
Yeah,
I was
did
just
you get a chance
yeah.
to do much fuel saving yourself out there during the race? Because we could hear Adam sort of clutching it down into T1 a couple of times. So maybe that's part of where that advantage came from. But you were out front for most of it. You didn't get really a chance to do that yourself.
Yeah, that's it. I was just focusing on my own race, and just it wasn't even fuel saving. I'm not really good at it, so I just was trying to drive as hard as I can and hopefully try and get a gap that would cover that. So obviously it didn't work out, and that's why I tried to use the cold tyre advantage to get that gap, and obviously it didn't work either. So I mean, yeah, the boys are they're very smart and calculated, and listening to them on Discord, like they're very good at their job. So I mean, I won't give them too much credit. They do, but yeah, they do a good job.
Well,
Too
what I
much
was
there.
going to say is, mate, I mean, when you've got to go to that extra degree and tick all of those boxes to get you, well, that's what they had to do tonight, buddy. So you can't be too displeased with your pace out there.
No, I'm definitely not. I mean, it's just so much fun to be on track with them boys, and I enjoy it every week. So I'm not disappointed at all. Adam deserves the win, and Steph probably would have as well if he didn't have his little mistake. So I mean, I'm not displeased at all. I race with these boys every week, and every week they show up and give it their all and really give me a run for my money. So no, I love it, and I'm walking away with my head high, and just after a good night of racing, it's always good.
I'll tell you what, watching
one
you
more round
guys-
to go. Sorry,
Watching you guys in the five in a row was pretty spectacular. When you watch it back, you'll appreciate how well you did. And it was just one little mistake that cost you, but you know what? It was an epic drive. Really well done.
Yeah, thanks, boys. Just hopefully we can get it together for the final round. I mean, Okayama was the same thing. I just let my pit speed limiter go like a fraction of a second too early.
no.
Cost myself that penalty there with a good lead. So I don't know, just put it all together, and just got to get the boys to give me one. I think I'm giving them a few now.
Well, there we have. So that is Dylan Shepherd, driver of our 43 machine here. You got anyone you want to do a shout out for, Dylan?
Nah, still representing myself, but racing along with the Chris Cost boys, and we all help each other out every week with the setup feedback. So I'll thank them boys for helping me out. And yeah, just shout out to you guys for putting on a good broadcast. I always enjoy afterwards. So thanks, guys, and also the series admins for putting on a good series. I think the boys are doing a killer job.
Awesome,
Cool,
mate.
cool.
Well,
Well, you know what?
congratulations.
Invite all your mates. The season 4 starting. Make sure you get more of your mates in here so we can have a bigger grid so you can have more competition.
No, I'm going to just tell everyone it's crap so I can have a better run for myself.
No, just invite all your real shitmates, the ones that can't
Yeah,
race, so I can race with
that's it.
someone.
Yeah, I'm on it.
Good bananas.
All right, Dylan. Well, congratulations on your P3, buddy, and yeah, glad you had an awesome time, and I'm sure you'll be back to fight again next week.
Yep, we'll try my best, and yeah, thanks, boys. Love your work.
Cheers, boys.
Cheers, man.
All right, so let's get the milk carton himself in here, Stefan McCartan from Crisscross Racing. P2, mate, just couldn't get it done. That little mistake early on when you were leading, and that sort of, you had to catch up a few seconds.
Yeah, unfortunately I sort of dipped that right rear off and my wheel wouldn't upshift out of first, so I was sort of just banging the rev limiter and couldn't cut the revs, so that doesn't help. But yeah, I think even without that, I was sort of slowing everyone down. I was, sort of at the front of the pack, and those three boys, and including Christopher there, just had the pace on me. I didn't have a lot of time to practice and stuff, but hey, I'll take it. Still in the championship hunt with the last round to go with Adam.
I was going to say, buddy, it's pretty close at the top there, only 13 points, but it would have been nice to finish in front of him. So you didn't hire a witch doctor or get a voodoo doll made up at all?
Nah, I did, but he didn't turn up. Jake Edwards decided not to race tonight.
Mate, you said you didn't have any practice, but you still qualified for 150.929. What the hell? How much practice do you really need to get better than that?
Yeah, well, I mean, in week 13 in the officials, I did probably 12 to 13 races in this car in one day. So I've had plenty of practice in the car itself, but yeah, set up and on this track, I probably did about maybe 8 laps before I hit the qualifying session. So yeah, I don't know. If I actually got good practice, I might fix my race pace.
Well, I do my practice during the qualify section, so you're one step ahead of me.
Well, mate, it was another awesome drive, and you're having a good battle with your teammates there. But yeah, Greggy got caught up there himself, but it was awesome battle, as Stephen was saying before to Dylan. It was 5-6 car battle there for the first half of the race. And it really wasn't until the pit stops sort of, sorted themselves out that we actually started to see some spaces.
Yeah, and a lot of that would have been from after my sort of incident. You had Chris and Adam right behind Dylan being able to save fuel in that draft. And I was sort of 2 seconds back where I still had to push as hard as I could just to try and catch the draft, so I wasn't really able to fuel save anything. And it showed in Adam's pit stop where he came out, I think it was about 1.5 seconds in front of Dylan. And yeah, if I was a little bit closer to Chris, I probably could have been there a little bit closer at the end. But yeah, as I say, I'll take it. P2, unfortunately Adam beat me for fastest lap, so he'll gain 11 points on me this round, so a bit of work in the finale to do, but hey, anything can happen.
Wow.
This is true. This is very true. Racing's racing, so...
probably we could maybe try and tee up a rear grid for using next race, maybe.
Well, we know a few people in RC, so we'll see what we can do.
Yeah, I'll see if Jake turns up next week.
Oh, get your wingman out there to run a bit of cover. Well, It is awesome to have a chat to you, Stefan, the driver of the 51 from Crisscross Racing, and the people that support Crisscross are...
Yeah, so first of all, Jared Farwell and hooking up the Whitey's Pie livery that I've got on my car and Jake's car. And to our main team sponsors, Pullmaster Bayside, Palmerston Bakery, Smoke Studios, and Shunt Imagery.
Awesome, buddy.
Well done, mate. And your boys at Whitey Pies did a shout out for you while you're racing as well, so I reckon they jinxed you.
Yeah, I'll blame Jared.
Awesome, buddy. Well, congratulations. Great drive. Just got to try and get one up on your teammate, mate. Not let him run away with this championship.
Yeah, I'll be there. I won't give it to him easy this year. I'm not the wingman this year.
Is he doing the setups, or are you doing it? You can't sabotage the setup there, or?
Nah, unfortunately, that's all from Dylan, who's actually a real-life Porsche mechanic on one of these cars. So that helps. That helps a lot with the setups and stuff. But he's the man that we use this season for setups, and since this car's changed, it's definitely come in handy because this thing's definitely become a whole new beast since they updated.
Okay, so
all
what are the
car.
changes there, Stefan, before you go? What are you sort of noticing the changes since the last update for the car?
A lot of it is tyre heat and brake heat. So if you overdrive the car, you feel it and you notice your fronts either wear harder or your rears don't have the traction that they used to, compared to the older model, which I feel like they've actually decreased the aero a little bit in this thing. So for those that were around in the older gen car, it feels a lot more like driving that, where you've got little aero and a bit more top end. So it's a bit more of a driver's car now than it was before.
Wish I was a damn driver.
Greg's just on the chat asking for a petition to go back to the old Porsche, so I don't think he was a fan.
Yeah, no, he's not the biggest fan of it, but yeah, no, I enjoy it. It's just a lot more throttle management in this car than it was in the previous version.
Awesome. Well, it's once again to have you, a pleasure to have you in here in the broadcast booth, and after a great drive, mate, P2, well done. And what we'll do is we'll drag Hughesy down here. If you're welcome to stay in the room if you want, Stefan, or if you've had enough of Hughesy, we can kick out, no problem. You let us know.
I'll stay and see what he has to say.
Well, he said some pretty crazy things about you there, Hughesy. No, he didn't. Mate, congratulations, P1. You run away with it again, mate, though you had to work for it this time. Bit of strategy, picked it up in the pit stop. Well done.
Yeah, cheers, mate. Sort of just, I think this is another race where I just got bloody lucky. Like, Stefan had his moment. Like, his wheels sort of just glitched out on him and didn't sort of upshift, which sort of stuffed him over. And then, obviously, he fell 2 or 3 seconds behind. And then, obviously, doing a bit of fuel saving. And poor old Dylan had a bit of a moment coming out of, I think it was, would essentially be the second last corner on the shorter layout of this track, the tight left-hander. He obviously sort of tank slapped it into the grass. So got a bit lucky, mate. I won't lie. So seems to be the flavour of the season for me this season, just getting lucky.
You say that, Hughesy, but we saw you sort of fuel saving there, setting up your moment, and you just managed to get that extra lap in, and then it was just, get the job done, and you come out a second and a half in front of him. So, was that the plan?
Yeah, just think mainly just to just fuel save and try and build some sort of gap. Like, it was just hard to get up to the tail of Dylan and try and make him move, just because I feel like as soon as you get within half a second, these cars just change again. So
I think that aero wash seems to be a factor in the new update for the car.
Yeah, I reckon it's worse. I think it was quite manageable pre-update, but post-update, I reckon they've made it worse.
What, you're losing the front end, or?
Yeah, just the front end just washes out. Like, the rear's not too bad, but just the the front just pushes out, and then you end up sort of overheating the tyres, and then you lose speed. So I think that, as soon as you get within half a second, it starts to play funny buggers. So you're sort of better off to back off and just wait for an opportunity to sort of show itself.
Yeah, the first 10 laps, there was 5 of you guys, and you were all within a couple of tenths of each other. So there would have been a few washes going through that. How was it sitting in that pack? Was it even harder because of the wash?
No, it was, and then sort of Stefan and Dylan sort of just checked out. They were about a second and a half, 2 seconds up the road at one point, so yeah. I didn't really have that issue, but at the start it was, and obviously I had Christopher Island sort of right in my gearbox, so I sort of had to make sure I had to cover him as well as try and watch ahead of what those two were doing. So for a few laps it was pretty hit to how you're going. Just you turn and front end would not do anything. So it was quite
you say you were lucky, but I'd say you've just done a really good solid drive, mate. Not making a mistake is not being lucky. It's just you had a good drive, mate. Unfortunately, the other guys made mistakes, and that's what racing's about. So you've done a good job, mate. Don't be hard on yourself that you were lucky. I think you did a killer job tonight. No,
I appreciate it. Thank you. It was a good drive for sure, but there was touch of moments where it was just lucky. So I'll take it though. I'll definitely, a win's a win. I'll take it.
Yep. What about the truck layout? Were you a fan of the truck layout?
Yeah, love it. Yeah, love it, mate. Motegi is a ripping track. I don't like the short layout. I don't think it does much for me, but the longer layout is just dynamite. Love it. Awesome fun.
Well, they sort of had a couple of tricky, tighter corners when they cut the track in half. So, but you know, as you said, were they the corners that were giving you trouble with the understeer? You know, in that aero wash, or was it more the faster flowing sections?
The faster flowing stuff, I reckon probably turn 3 and 4 was an issue because I couldn't get the power down because I was just sort of washing out. Then it would want to turn, and then I'd have to counter steer. So those two and probably the hairpin, I reckon they were problems for me. Other than that, most of the corners weren't too bad. Turn 1, turn 2 had their moments as well, but overall it wasn't too bad.
Most important question: did you miss me on track?
I did, mate. It wasn't the same without you. Didn't know what to do with myself.
Yeah, I thought you'd missed the blue flag.
Well, I was going to say, you know, were you referring to the Scotty Rankin incident of the Radicals a few rounds ago? Oh, no.
No.
I'll get you.
No.
No,
I always give the boys a nice drag down the main straight and pull away just in time, except for that one time I didn't. That Stefan knows about.
Wow.
Anyway, guys,
yeah, top of the tree once again, Adam Hughes. Championship leads. So Stephen said you probably pulled another 11 points out on him. So, and you've got a drop round available to you. Is it unassailable yet, buddy, or have you got to still work your butt off for next week?
Well, I suppose. I don't know. Like I've still got to show up and do some sort of decent result. So I'll definitely show up and try and make an effort to at least get in the top 5 or top 3 again. So, but it is going to be Suzuka, so that's going to be harder than Okayama. That track was good fun, but that was hard. But yeah, Suzuka's going to be a nightmare, I think.
So as a team, are you guys going to be practicing together this week, or are you going to go along your separate ways and practice separately? Because there's three of you fighting for the championship.
Usually Barb's and I do, like Greg Barber and I usually do, but Stefan just does the old trick of, I'm not going to have any speed, I'm slow, I'm not going to be able to, do anything, I'm going to be so slow, and then just
does a 159.
Yeah, and just poles it for the last 3 or 4 races straight. It's like, are you seriously kidding me? You cry a wolf that you're going to be slow, and then bang, you go pole position.
Oh, look, I'm working pretty hard.
Do you have a retort there for that, Stefan? You can't just let that stand, can you?
I mean,
he knows I'm right.
Yeah.
He knows I'm right.
If the championship was based off qualifying, I would win it quite easily. But unfortunately, it's not. So.
Well, that's maybe something we should do for next season is have a pole position championship
you
on
get
its
the
own as
Melville
well.
equipment call fastest lap, so you get your day in the sun. It's all
Yeah.
about the racing. We're here for the racing, Husey, aren't we?
Oh, well, look, we'll hand out the pole position for the V8 Supercars.
Stefan's just trying to be a Mercedes, and Toto Wolff is trying to find every single angle he can get to get extra points.
I love it when teammates dish the dirt out on it. So, if you want us just to go quiet for a minute, we'll let you guys keep the discussion going.
I think all he needs to remember is who is the team boss.
Team boss.
Team orders for next week. Yeah.
Team orders.
Shifters on the right. Click it.
Well, I think team orders should be to get 1, 2, 3 for the title, and Husey should just do what he has to do to make sure that happens.
Yeah, I reckon I can do that, but I'll definitely try and finish like 1 or 2 spots ahead of or behind of Stefan, though. Can't let him have that easy.
Oh, awesome. Well, congratulations, P1, Mr. Adam Hughes. I know we just heard from them for Stefan, but you boys put both cars on the podiums. You earned it again, so let us know who's giving you guys all the support out there.
Curious question. Obviously, Stefan handballed that job to me, I'm guessing.
No, he's already done it. I was giving
He's
you.
already done it, but mate,
and then
you
we
know
were
what?
gonna,
Your spots
that
deserve
way,
another go, mate.
All right, okay.
No, it was more about creating an opportunity where afterwards you could say, no, you stuffed that up, you see, or you stuffed that up.
No, look, obviously, thanks to yourself, Cow, and yourself, Stephen, for obviously sacrificing your night for racing, and obviously to Toddy as well for doing the work behind the scenes. Massive, obviously, big thanks to Stefan again, even though he gives me grief and I give him grief, but again, thanks to him for running the show again, for letting us come back in and have another crack at SLW and taking me on board and all that, all those years ago. Obviously, big shout out to Crisscross boys, Paul Master, AE Board, Smoke Studios, Shunts, KYB, and a massive shout out to Palms and Bakery.
Well done, mate. Well done. And congratulations for the win tonight.
Cheers, thank you for that.
Well, one more round in the Porsche Cup to go. I've been the ring-in tonight, so I've missed all the action. Is there any big moments I need to go back and look at, boys? Has there been any big incidents on track between the two of you that I need to go and check out in some of the previous streams?
there was a fight that Stefan lost to a bunch of grass, so they would be checking that out.
Just wait for Suzuka turn 1 lap 1.
All right, it's on.
See, that's
This
what I
is
like
exactly
to hear.
the track
That's what I like to hear.
we need here at SRW TV. Nah, boys, congratulations. Did awesome as a team. And as always, it's a pleasure to have you guys here in the broadcast booth.
Cheers, boys.
Cheers, guys.
All right, everyone. Well, that will wrap up our coverage of the SRW Porsche GT3 Cup Series here at Sim Racing World TV. Of course, if you love the action, don't forget to hit the like button and follow us on all those socials so you don't miss out on any of the action coming forward. Remember, it is Season 4. Registrations are open now. It's all Aussie tracks, double the trouble on the Aussie tracks. So spaces are going to fill fast. Make sure you get in if you want to be a part of the action. We've got racing galore everywhere, and it's going to be an awesome series. We still have one more round to go for our Porsche Cups. We've got round 8 of the V8 Supercars coming up this Sunday at the same track, same layout, Twin Ring Motegi. So there's more action to come here. But on behalf of our management and broadcast team here at SRW, Stephen on comms with me, Chef Toddy behind the scenes and in front of them earlier in the Radicals race. This is Cowie, your average sim racer, signing off, saying good night, and we look forward to seeing you next time on SRW TV.